kind of distracted, it's because I very much am distracted.
Yes, and then I will apologize in advance for concussion brain because I do not have a concussion, but my short-term memory is very lost. I
So,
lose my sentences quick.
so you haven't gotten a concussion, but you do have concussion brain.
Yeah, in the sense of like I will lose track of a sentence very fast. Like it happened a lot last night, if you noticed.
Actually, I wasn't there last night, so you definitely
Oh,
have a concussion brain because
yeah.
you didn't even know I wasn't there.
Oh my. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. So what is that? Go into a lot of detail. Like go like what do you mean which is funny
Like,
to say to somebody that just said they had concussion brain. I understand that,
yeah.
but what do you mean? Like do you honestly like do you have actual symptoms that are shared with like
I
CTE
th-
victims
I th-
or
I think it's more of like I have drug brain.
oh
You know
that
what I
makes more
mean?
sense, yeah.
Like all the like messy stuff I got into, and then now it's really settling in.
Yeah.
So yeah, it gets embarrassing though because I'm always like, where was I again? Where was I again? Like,
You were talking about last night you kept losing you kept
yeah,
losing your spot. Is that like a so it's more of you think because so you were talking about it right before the show. You were saying that you want to your hopes are
mhm,
to give professional or even amateur wrestling, right?
uh-huh.
Like cuz like I guess anything that's not WWE or like
The indies,
anything that's not on TV, is that what it is
yeah, the
essentially?
indies. Yep.
So anything that's not broadcast on television is considered the indies,
Yeah.
and you want in at least to a chance on the indies
Yep.
circuit,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
right?
Yep.
What was your gimmick?
I was gonna do the intern gimmick that we made up for Falls Count Anywhere, and
Oh, the intern. Okay, cool.
yeah, so I actually based it off of a Joshi wrestler that started with Stardom back in 2011, and she basically did like this school girl kind of thing where it was like the button-up shirt and the skirt and whatnot, and so I kind of took that concept in the way of like I'll be like an intern that's trying to learn to become the best wrestler ever. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So then all of it is just strategy, and then I was going to try to do more of a comic side of it, where it's like I come out with a notebook, I'm taking notes during the match. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Stuff like
yeah.
that. So I've come up with a bunch of different spots and all that stuff.
You had the
So.
is that why you had the briefcase for a while too?
No, the briefcase is more
Or
of
that's
just
just
yeah, it had a bunch of like Japanese stuff that my ex-girlfriend gave me from her mom, blah blah blah, long story. And but then I turned it into like my Joshi briefcase.
okay.
So, yeah, that's like my most expensive thing I have.
That seriously that oh,
Yeah.
speaking of that also. So, okay, where I'm trying not to go too much CTE brain myself,
No, that's fine.
but this is GDP Live. This is
Yes.
Gross
Hello.
Domesticated Podcast.
Yes.
I'm your host. This is Pat George. You can call in the show anytime at 717 559-2971. Sorry, it's been a while. It's been actually a couple months since our last show. It's been since the end of March
Mm,
since we did a show with Sarah and Casey. So that
yes.
was such a banger. I was like, let's just coast on that for a while.
Okay. All
Let's
right.
do
So I
some
got
other
I got
stuff.
expectation. I
So
got somewhere to meet. All right.
Payne reached out to me. He's like, you know what? When are we gonna fucking cast, bro? We always talk about it. When are we gonna fucking cast, bro? That's what he was saying. And I was like, you know what, Payne, you're right. We should cast. You have a pretty rich life, but I assume. No, I assume. I assume. Do I assume incorrectly?
I wouldn't say rich. I would say
Not rich, like literally, like rich as in like thick. You got like a lot of substance in
oh,
there.
yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
mean rich like money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trust me.
I lived in
I
Florida, but it
yeah,
wasn't. Yeah.
yeah, I see. Yeah, Florida sees Florida, pal.
Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, like I honestly I don't know like where you were born. I
Mhm.
don't know. I know your last name. I think I say it correctly. Tirado.
Toronto. Yep. Yep.
Tirado.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know what the fuck kind of name that is.
It
Like,
means to throw away.
oh wow,
Yeah.
that is telling. Pain. That is telling, my friend.
Eh,
Not to roast you,
no,
my
it's
friend,
fine.
but like that is like
I do have a lot of
it's
throwaway.
in your like family crest. You know what I mean? You feel like somebody. You shouldn't feel like that though. I think you're a really interesting guy. You really do have.
It's the hand throwing the bag into the
It's
trash.
yeah.
That's our family
What's
crest.
that little the recycling
Yeah.
thing of the guy in the middle of the trash? I always wonder why like it always looks weird. The one tripping
Mhm.
on the floor thing always makes sense because
Mhm.
obviously that's the motion
Yeah.
it would
Yeah.
look like. But like the one that it's always I gotta look it up. Hold on, let
Okay.
me look that up real quick.
I
The
got you.
recycling
I miss in Florida we had the orange and the green recycling bins. I
in.
know I did in my neighborhood.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
recycling bin logo. I guess I'll put
Yeah.
logo. I know that like this one,
Okay.
but I feel like there was one with like. Why do they make their legs like that? Like it's so strange.
Heels. They're probably wearing no, wait.
Yeah,
No. I don't know.
it's so strange. Like they're almost like it's almost like there's what is that? Like a triangle little cutout
Yeah.
thing. I'm trying to explain.
It's like if you have a rectangle and you cut the triangle out of the top of
Yeah,
it.
look,
Yeah.
you can do normal legs. Like
Yeah,
there's a stick figure thing. Oh, I'm not looking for royalty free
Right.
anything, but on the recycling one, for some reason, it's like they're little like jagged edges.
Mhm.
I don't understand that.
I down the street from my house, there's that deer sign, like watch for deer.
Mhm.
And it's funny because it's a deer with antlers, but you never really ever see a deer with antlers around here.
Very rarely,
But
not the ones on the side of the road. Usually,
yeah, some hooligans made me laugh for a while because someone put a spray painted a penis on the deer.
oh come on,
It's funny though. He's a man deer, so it makes sense.
If there's antlers, there should be a penis. You're right.
Yep. So it was anatomically correct.
And you would assume that they would act out of character or like erratically if they were in heat.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
So you know what? Hashtag give that deer a boner.
Give that yeah.
Give that buck a boner, actually, because it's a buck, right?
Yeah.
Is it different?
Bees give the bees the bees. Buck boners.
So
Boner bucks.
so Payne,
Yes,
tell
that's
me where'd you grow up?
So I was born in Hershey, so
Oh,
like I
local
always,
boy.
yeah, naturally sweet, but it wasn't very sweet.
Oh,
My I was kind of a mistake baby.
okay.
So
I
father,
think I kind of was too, by the way. So we'll get
yeah.
into that in a little bit.
So
but
my father went to military, and then my mom raised me, and then she went to jail for stabbing somebody. So my grandparents took me, and then my dad remarried a crazy Hispanic lady, and then we moved to Florida. Grew up in Orlando for a while, and then she threatened to kill me. So then I came up here.
Jeez.
Oh, also the Colombian mafia was threatened on us. So then I came here.
It's a long show, Payne. Take your time.
Okay, yeah, and then
these sound like interesting things. You should go
Yeah.
into some details. If you
I
can,
will,
like, I don't
will.
know, is
No,
there
no,
like
no,
a court
it's,
case or anything? Like, is
no,
there...
no. We try to, but it's a whole other
So
story.
what is your? But what is? I mean, I guess what's your like heritage? Like, what was?
Oh,
You say your
my
dad,
father's Puerto Rican, my mom is white.
your dad married a crazy Mexican lady. You said, or Puerto Rican.
Oh, she married a Colombian. It was the second wedding.
Okay.
My stepmother was Colombian.
So he would, and his heritage is Puerto Rican. So you have Puerto Rican, half crazy white lady.
Yeah, crazy white lady.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, go on.
Totally
Sorry,
white
I apologize.
trash.
I just
no, it's fine.
you know,
Yeah, because I got to make sure I don't rush ahead of myself.
It's
Because
kinda
I
like-
always try to get the facts straight, and then we can break
it's like
it
you're
down.
skipping chapters during Scarface, and I'm like, what's going on? What's happening?
Yeah,
I know there's drugs in here.
Yeah. Oh, so that's what it was though. It's like when I was in Florida, I was there from like first grade to seventh grade. Then that whole incident happened, and then I was up here from eighth, ninth grade, 10th grade. I went back down to Florida. That was when the whole scene kid thing was blowing up on MySpace and all that. So then I came back up
Whereabouts in Florida?
here. Orlando. Yeah,
Okay.
I went to University High School.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that school was dope. Like it was huge, open area, no, you know what I mean, open courtyard and everything. Felt like a university.
Was that was that like a specialty? Because I went to a school. I was just talking about this at jiu-jitsu. I was bused to the south side for school, but I was bused to a like super artsy school on the south side, which is weird. It had a PCCA program, which was like the arts and theater and stuff like that. So it had like a really good like theater program and
was it predominantly white?
No.
Okay. Because Cedar
that part was.
Yeah. Cedar Crest is like that, or Lebanon's like that, where it's like Cedar Crest has more white kids than anything because they take all the kids from the suburbs outside of Lebanon, and then Lebanon High School has all like the more minorities because of.
So sorry, go on. You're in Orlando.
Yeah.
And you said you university. So what was it about? Like, was it did you like the staff, or was it like literally like the actual going to the school itself?
It was fun, yeah, and then getting to see my friends, well, quote unquote friends from back in the day and stuff.
Was it like a private school?
No, it was public.
Okay.
Yeah. And I just was there for that year, and then I came back up here because my dad was going through that divorce, so I helped him move out of the house into to another apartment. You know, the usual move that divorced
Yeah,
Cads
yeah,
do.
yeah. The huge.
Yeah.
Same old, same old.
Yeah, so but then I came up here, finished high school, and I've kind of been stuck here. I did move down to Florida again for a little bit. I don't know
Hmm.
if you remember that. That was when Falls County were starting up and all that stuff, which
Oh yeah, yeah,
inspired me to come back up
yeah.
here.
You were the original intern. You were down there, I believe, when AEW
W and now
started.
their first big event at the
You
Jacksonville
got us the
Stadium.
towel.
Yep, the
That was the towel
towels.
from there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This is the infamous getter of the towel.
And and then the Young Bucks tweet that we got,
That was pretty cool too.
that was
Yeah.
dope.
So sorry. So you're in Florida.
Yep.
You're jamming out. You're loving school,
Yeah, in 10th grade, like I said, it
which
was
is
the
weird.
scene thing. So, like, I came back up here with, like, the long hair, skinny jeans, tight shirt. Now, look at me. It wouldn't look good now, but
Dude,
back
there's a lot of
then, I
people
just
that look like you now wearing what you
the
were wearing then. So like,
yeah.
trust me, it gets weird.
So, but that's the one thing I love about Florida too is that, like, if you wanna lose weight, just go to Florida, dude. Like, it's not just
Really?
the meth. Like, it's just but it's, like, the heat, the sun, you're always outside. You always wanna be outside. You wanna be active. You wanna do stuff, you
Yeah.
know?
I actually, it's so funny because it's almost been switched because like from what you're
Mm,
saying, like I would stay when when we grew up in Florida,
mhm.
like all we ever craved was central heat and air. Just go inside,
Yeah.
air conditioning, video games. Like summer vacation was
Yeah.
cool. I have freedom to just hang out with
Yeah.
my friends and play Super Nintendo all
Or
day.
sucking garden hoses outside because you're
Oh
just
my god, it's disgusting.
yeah.
And that's the thing is I did that stuff, but I never like preferred that stuff. So like
Yeah.
it was almost the opposite with me, where like now I'm like up here, I'm like, yeah, let's go hiking, let's fucking
Yeah.
go. And also I think I'm living a little bit cleaner, but you're definitely right about Florida not being the healthiest. Like there's gonna be drugs and meth and crazy
Yeah.
shit like that.
That's where I would go for my, like, shroom sabbaticals because I had
Oh,
a connection to,
Florida,
like
yeah, yeah.
yeah, so I would
Yeah,
just go there because the best part is also is, like, you eat shrooms and then, like, you wanna rest up, so what I would do is, go do my little sabbatical, come home, and then just watch, like, the local news because like,
yeah,
there's always something crazy happening in Florida, so
yeah.
it's just like, it's trippy enough as it is, so,
It's
yeah.
interesting that the local news difference, like in Florida, I mean, it's kind of
Mm.
this like everywhere. I
Shout
feel
out
like,
Channel 13.
yeah, Channel 13, Fox 13 News, hell yeah. Uh, Sue, oh, what was her name? Sue, not it was like, oh fuck, I can't remember her
Mm.
name now. Sue Hernando? No, Sue. It was like I can't remember her name. She was like she was around like my whole life,
Yeah,
and like near the end of it, I was like, damn, like that's crazy. Usually they have the
yeah.
young perky, but
One
she's just like,
side note, do you
hey,
remember
how's it going?
you remember the older Asian guy commercial who was selling he would always sell all those appliances? I think it was
uh,
more local to Orlando
maybe yeah.
specifically, but
I was more of
he's been there since my childhood, dude. It's crazy that this guy's still going at it, but
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It's nuts the consistency in Florida, like promotion and stuff like that, because there's certain it's almost like that Cadbury egg commercial that
Yeah.
there's like every year is just the same fucking commercial from when I was growing up. Like
Yeah.
they never there's certain like staples in Florida that you never have to worry about. And I feel like that lady on the new she was channel 8. She was channel 8.
Okay.
That's what it was. And
Mhm.
she might have been you might not have seen her. She was like Tampa St. Pete area.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha.
So
Yeah.
it's weird that like there's parts of Florida that aren't connected, how different Orlando is compared to Tampa and St. Pete.
Yep.
But so you're going through your scene kid phase, you're shouting out the news.
Yeah.
What else?
So yeah, then I came back up here. I got into the whole music thing. Well, in 8th grade, I wanted to do stand up. That was my career project. And I told Joe about it, but it's like they gave us like 3 to 5 minutes. So
Was that back in Florida?
no, that was here. Because
Oh, that
again,
was here?
it was kindergarten to 7th grade in Florida, 8th, 9th of here, 10 down there, and then finish high school up here. It's that whole back and forth. So that's where I get a lot of that whole mixed blah 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 concepts and stuff. But
Different kinds of white trash. That's basically all it is. And it
yeah,
shouldn't be that confusing,
right.
really.
Yeah, some trailers keep the windows open, the other ones keep them
Yeah,
closed.
you guys can successfully live in trailers forever down here or up here.
Yeah.
Down there, it's like it's a temp. They shouldn't call them mobile homes. They should call them temporary homes.
Yeah.
Because really, even if you're like retire, like there's nobody that I think lives in a trailer for longer than like 15 years in
Mhm.
Florida, which is good. That's pretty good. That's a
Yeah.
good. That's on the long end. You know what I mean? But up
Yeah.
here, I feel like it's a lot more successful. So, are you? Which one do you prefer? I guess then, like growing up, like which because are you able to like you're able to make friendships obviously in
Yeah.
PA and stuff like that, and are you able to is it the same place that you're going back and forth to, or are you just like going?
Yeah. No,
Okay,
it's still Orlando that I go to, and I still like talk to this like one or two people that I knew back in the day from there. But it's more of that whole like Central PA and like this area is more like it's good to grow up in, then leave, and then come back to settle. You know what I mean?
okay,
And then
yeah,
start the next
I can see that.
generation. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that's how I take it. Like, and then with Florida, the reason I don't stay in Florida is because I can only last like, almost a month before I'm like, okay, it's too hectic, it's too crowded, it's too hot. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's more of a vacation sabbatical thing for me to just kind of get away from up here,
yeah,
So, and then
yeah,
it's like a lot of
yeah.
people
It's
that
weird
use,
how it's like that for you.
yeah, no,
You
sorry.
you like to go to Florida for vacation, do you, Payne?
Oh, dude, I don't
That's a
mean
good
like,
idea. That like a resort
yeah,
place
they should put in a theme
where you
park.
go vacations.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, but so that's
Your little vacation hideaway, Orlando,
what is
Florida.
the bird thing? What do they call that? The seasonal birds or whatever?
Birds of paradise.
Yes.
Yeah, the flowers. It's actually flowers.
I like flowers.
Isn't that crazy? Bird of paradise is actually a flower. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. I made that joke the other night about eating butterflies, or it was like but yeah. I went to those butterfly exhibits in Florida. Those are cool. That's actually
Sunken Gardens.
okay. Side note,
Yeah.
Florida, dude, you want your kids to love you, put them in elementary school in Florida because the field trips are bomb.
That's actually
dude.
true. That's actually I
Fucking
can vouch for this.
amazing.
This is
dude.
it's I don't know if I would risk bringing a young child to grow up in Florida. I wouldn't say like, "Oh, you're elementary age, you should definitely live and grow up in Florida." It's treacherous for us.
Yeah, sorry. I
Okay.
mean, like, yeah, if you're already stuck in that situation.
That's when I had
there's
my
the
worst
perks.
nightmares.
Yeah, true.
But the field trips absolutely are the best. Like, because
Yeah.
then middle school was almost, it feels like almost all like in house. There was
Yeah.
very little like fun or like levity.
Yeah.
And then high school was like a lot of like, it's movie day,
Yeah.
movie day and not dressing out for gym. But
I think it's just because of lack of appreciation as we get older.
maybe elementary school is the last time there's really a lot of actual field
Yeah.
trips. But like there was, did you do Enterprise Village?
Mm-mm.
You never did Enterprise? I'm pretty sure that was
Mm-mm.
elementary school.
Mm.
Uh-oh.
No, I don't know that one.
That's where you go to learn life skills. That makes a lot of sense. Now we're checking off another box.
They drop you off at a group home.
Yeah. No, actually Enterprise Village is cool because it's a little like town that you're like all, and then everybody's assigned a job. I was a public accountant, believe it or not. I was a CPA, certified public accountant.
Ooh, nice.
And I was responsible basically for paying everyone essentially. And there was like a McDonald's, and you could either work or visit the McDonald's. That was the coolest part. Was like you can just go there and like I wanted the McDonald's job, which is ironic because you're supposed to be like, oh, you want to be a professional, like, but they're like, this is how you manage a McDonald's. You're good at this.
Oh,
good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know if they actually let them like fry shit or if they just like bust it in.
Fakes, the plastic food.
Yeah, but no, it was real
okay.
McDonald's. That was the best part. It was like
Sick.
I remember like that was a fucking field trip that you got to learn how to fucking balance the checkbook, and you got fucking cheeseburger and fries. That was awesome.
I think it was like first grade. We got a field trip to our local McDonald's.
Oh, really?
We got to walk in the back and everything and just see how it's all done.
There was another time we had around the holidays, and it was, I think, maybe maybe fourth grade. We were down. We walked again. There was a walking field trip, which kind of sucked. But it was like maybe like a couple blocks down the road to this retirement community where we went in and sang carols for the old people. That was a shitty field trip. I didn't like that. It was right next to an IHOP too, and we did not go in for pancakes. What the fuck? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine walking this little tubby man like down, and I'm just like, okay, I'm earning some pancakes. Like, there's got to be some. What are you gonna feed us? And then it was like, you're just gonna go back to school and then eat your own lunch.
The nap afterwards was probably great.
I don't know if we did naps. I think that was even right after naps too.
Yeah,
like,
I think naps stopped at. I didn't. Yeah, pre-K. They don't do them in kindergarten.
I feel like they couldn't have. had us just walking down the street. I mean, we were on the sidewalk, but
Yeah.
walking down the sidewalk if we were less than like third grade. But you know what? I don't even remember
Well, I
correctly.
think we were more organized back then. We didn't have all the cell phones and shit, so we
We
could
like
actually stay in a straight line.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, in our day.
In our day, yeah.
But sorry, we're digressing too much from the original topic, which is you, my friend. What made you actually finally get into like pursuing like a wrestling like career?
Uh, this is where it's one of those
Seriously.
too many eggs. I'm a too many eggs person.
What does that mean?
Too many eggs, one basket.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I honestly didn't know what that meant
yeah.
because I fucking love eggs.
Oh,
No such
sick.
thing in my
What's your
opinion.
favorite kind of eggs, real quick?
Hard boiled.
Ooh, I like dippy eggs.
You know what? I don't know if that's my favorite, but it's the most consistent. And I
Yeah,
think I appreciate it the most because it's the most utilitarian.
yeah.
You take out the little thing, whip it up, and you can make little double eggs, or just eat it normal with
Uh,
it's just good protein. And I've been eating a lot of eggs. Dom has not appreciated it,
uh,
but second, I think dippy. But I just don't like making them.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
Do
get
you
it.
have a hard time making the dippy part of the egg?
Oh, I only do scrambled.
What?
Yeah, I only make scrambled, but I do like fancy scrambled.
See, this is
I
okay.
don't have the hand technique. Well, obviously you can see. I don't have.
Yeah, we'll get into that too.
Yeah.
But so I guess so too many eggs. What does that mean? Like so what did
So
you
that's what happened. So I got into wrestling. I heard about wrestling when I was in Florida, but some kid was like, "Yeah, it's fake." So I was like, "Well, then why would I even pay attention to this whole thing?" And that was
Yeah.
when, like, all the big names were big names. And then so when I came up here, watched wrestling because I was allowed to. There's a whole dark closet in Florida that I don't know. We'll get into.
Yeah, that's what I what's the dark closet? Like that's what I mean. Were you not allowed to watch wrestling and shit
Oh,
like
I
that?
went through. It wasn't about wrestling. My stepmother was very,
Yeah, she was terrible.
yeah.
We
So
don't have to get into that if you don't
yeah.
want to.
So it
That's
was
totally fine. That's
yeah.
totally fine. But
But that is the one thing I will quick explain that like why I am the way I am
it's her.
is that and just like because I was the kid that like I had to deal with it at home. I got bullied in school.
Yeah.
I got put in baseball as a lefty, so I was always getting hit by the baseball.
Are you a lefty?
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that means so much more now. The hand injury. Holy shit.
So that's why it's just like I'm like really I act really quote unquote feral because we were talking about cats earlier.
Yeah,
But like yeah, so
Yeah, you're all weird. Like it's like but it's not like it's not a bad it's not an annoying weird.
it's a
Do you know what I'm saying?
curiosity weird. People get curious about me.
Yeah, like you are like it's definitely it's obvious. It's weird to say this and not mean it. I really do not mean this as a mean thing.
No.
But it's like it's very obvious that there was some kind of trauma in your life.
Oh yeah,
Do you
no,
know what I
my
mean?
whole life has been like that. So
But
that's why I'm.
you're not a bad person. I don't think you're a bad person.
No, I try to keep it. I try to keep because there was one time I was with somebody and I explained a lot more of all this, and
Yeah.
like when I was done, they were like, "How do you even keep yourself like this?"
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, "That's how it is, dude." Like,
Yeah.
so now I'm on like a bunch of psych meds. But anyways, to get back on that though, so eighth grade, like obviously my name's Payne, and I was watching wrestling, and I'm like,
That's
"Oh,
your real name too.
yeah,
Okay,
Payne Owen
nice.
Torado is my full name. Pot's my
Oh, and
initials.
holy shit, it's in
Yeah.
your blood, dude.
Yeah, so and literally. So I still didn't care about the wrestling all like that. I just watched it and then I would watch South Park a lot and then that's when I got introduced to Chappelle's show. That's when I got introduced to Comedy Central Presents and all that stuff. And then I did that 8th grade careers project and it was 3 to 5 minutes and as a fucking unprofessional, I went 12:58, you know what I mean? Way over the light.
Nice.
And so that was that, but then
started early.
yeah, but then when I went down to Florida in 10th grade, I was, a little chubby because living with my grandparents, that's just how it goes, especially with Pennsylvania Dutch style food. And
It's interesting. You mentioned grandparents and being chubby because my remember my grandfather. One of my this is kind of interesting.
mm,
One of my like last memories of my grandfather because like he passed away, he got sick and passed away and stuff like that. And I don't. It's not like it's I don't. It's gonna sound bad, but it's also like I remember him like warning me
mhm,
that that I was going to get like I was getting fat or I was getting like he's like
yep.
what we're gonna do is we're gonna when you come here we're gonna exercise blah 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 and I think it was also kind of for maybe his like PT or
Yeah.
something like that possibly but we never ended up doing that and I did end up getting pretty fat so Grandpa
Yeah.
definitely fucking called it.
Yeah,
Shout
but
out to Grandpa George.
yeah, but then that's why when I moved down to Florida in 10th grade, everybody was doing the scene kid look. So my buddies because That was a weird year where school started for high schoolers at like 9:30,
Yeah.
and they stopped that the year after because obviously like kids need to get jobs after school and stuff and
Yeah.
after school activities.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they switched that the following year. But when I was down there, lost a bunch of weight, we'd go running before school and then came back up here. And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna do the music thing and all that stuff. Because like, girl, like everybody likes the funny guy, but then I got like frustrated because then nobody would take me serious when I'm trying to be serious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like it's a lot of the problem that I have with a lot of things where it's like people want to think like it's all fun all the time, and that's not how it works in my head. You know what I mean? So when I am having my downs, like just leave me alone,
Yeah.
kind of thing. I'm not trying to be
That's
mean. It's just
understandable. Yeah.
So
You have to know that too, like that not everybody's going to get that even,
nah,
but
yeah,
even as long as the people that you can trust know that, just
yeah,
that there's what I mean, like there's people that are in your life that actually give a shit, that
yeah,
like may still fuck with you and like mess with you, but like as a friend, like we
yeah,
like that kind of thing of like like even though if I because like I joked about that, like Dom accidentally saying your name was pussy and I
yeah.
was like
That's hilarious
but that's
though.
like I'm like
That's
that's a hilarious
hysterical.
thing.
Yeah.
And it's like,
um.
but it's also like I don't mean to say like, oh, I'm calling you a pussy. Like
Yeah. Uh,
it's a situation where like you can deal with
yeah.
it's you say feral cat and it's
Mm.
really much like that. You're like what is it? Fucking what's it called? Not an adopted pet, but what the hell is that called? Who adopted
A
you?
rescue.
A rescue. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like a rescue. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you
That's why I get self-conscious
but I
at
don't
the
think anybody thinks that it's all fun all the time anyway. Like,
okay.
you know what I'm saying?
It's
Like,
just I think it's because like I get self-conscious at the comedy zone because I get snippy and it's not because and then the one comment last at the battle roast where people were saying, well, be careful with Payne that he doesn't boo. And it's like, just chill. Like when it's like you, Manny, Youngblood, like
yeah,
Charles, fucking like Charles calling me a homo all the time. I don't fucking care because
yeah,
he knows I'm not. But it's
yeah,
just like that is understandable. But I get annoyed when it's like people I don't know forcing stuff onto me
yeah.
that
It's
I'm
one of
just
those things.
like,
You don't know me like that. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. It's
yeah.
that's very normal. And by the way, that's a normal feeling.
I know, but I get called an asshole and all this stuff
So do
by people.
I.
Oh, okay.
Get
So
used to it.
all right.
It's human.
Hi,
People,
asshole.
hey, dickhead.
Ow.
Yes, you
Asshole.
did
No,
that.
yeah.
But like that's a thing where people are going to have their expectations on you. Like I've had
Yeah.
situations where I think I've had multiple times where I've experienced someone having way more feelings that they weren't sharing
Yeah.
like come out all at once, and it's kind of like one of those things of like, whoa, I didn't know you
Yeah.
felt that way, but also I don't really care. Do you know what I mean? Like you have
Yeah.
to learn how to kind of not care.
I actually just put this two and two
And
together.
it's hard to because I
Yeah.
definitely struggle with that. But you just put what? I'm
I
sorry.
put two and two together because, like I said, I was doing the band thing to like, get chicks and stuff. So I found this kid that he was good at guitar and singing. Like, have you ever heard the band Saves the Day?
Yes.
Yeah, he kind of gives off that vibe, and so I backed him up with guitar as well.
So
And
you were like rhythm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So all the spotlight was always on him. You know what I mean? Like even when we would go to open mics or whatever, or like
Mhm.
little stuff we do, like I could get as trashed as I wanted and then just play along, and everybody was more focused on him.
Were
You know what I
you
mean?
playing the correct thing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I know how to play. I
Okay,
know
I'm
that
just saying,
one
like, if you're
night.
getting
No.
trashed, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
No.
oh, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I So now with stand up though, it's like when I first showed up, obviously, you show up, you're a nobody, you know what I mean? And then you start building those connections with people. And then now I got to put in the perspective that like I've been doing this now long enough that like one, I should be better. But two, that like, when other people see me like coming up, the newer people that see me, like I'm just for example, like Dom and Connor, like they were like the first two to like actually like approach me to talk to me for like advice or just to shoot the shit with because they saw me killing at certain time. You know what I mean? So like people were looking like respecting me, I guess is the word. You know what I mean? So that and I'm not good with compliments and like hype ups. Like if you'd be like, "Hey, that was so fucking cool," I just shrug. I'm like, I don't know. Like I guess you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's and I think it's
You're
just
the hot girl that's hot because you don't know you're hot,
yeah,
right?
thank you.
Yeah,
I like to think I'm a hot girl
yeah.
sometimes.
But I think you also like I think you have to have like you still have an ego. You still have like that. You're not completely. So you don't have the
Yeah.
self-hatred. So like I don't understand. I guess that's the thing is you're able to, it's just in the moment you're just not able to take the compliment, or is it more of a, because you recognize that it's, do you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm,
it's also a thing where it's it it comes with like people see other people doing things, and I think they should feel way more comfortable reaching out. But in a situation like comedy, which is strange and clicky, no matter what, wherever you go, it's a weird non-acceptance thing.
yeah.
That's a thing that goes over all over the place. And whether they're asking your advice on how to break in to said scene, or
Yeah.
to make, really what it is, you know what it is, Pain, and it's really, I'm gonna blow the whole lid off of every fucking comedy scene in the whole
Sick.
fucking
All
place.
right. Yeah.
It is just people wanting people to like them.
Yeah.
It is, and that's more broad of
Yeah.
what I mean, but it's like a friendship fucking buffet. I want to
That
be their friends. I
perfect.
want them to
Yeah.
want me to be their friends.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Because I suffer from that shit. And I suffering because it should be like, oh, I just want to come in here and have a fun time performing.
Yeah.
Like you want to, and like obviously after, but like the fun part of it, like the fun part of it is that you get to hang out with your friends.
Yeah.
That's the fun part of it. And I think that's where a lot of really really cool shit comes out of, like comedy and stuff. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there's a lot of stuff that comes out of uh uh really cool projects can come out of like three people really enjoying what they're doing
Yeah.
and doing it like to its fullest potential.
Yeah, fun fact with because as we said, I went to Florida for like that year, or it wasn't even a year, it was a couple months, but I was doing stand up down there, and I maybe had like one or two that were like a little rocky, but the rest were, I just did really good. One night I just killed, and it's not because of skill, I believe. I think it's just because of all like the practice I put up here, and then being a fresh face from a new place,
Yeah,
and it just kind of it all vibed out. But the problem was is just like like all the friends I talked to down in Florida, they're all rappers and stuff. So like you see me and you wouldn't expect it, but when I go down to Florida, like I'm going to rap shows and hanging out with rappers and stuff. But I'm the weird guy out, but I make them all laugh, so it's all fun. But with up here, it's like I had the same group, I had you guys, and it's just while I'm down there, it's one of those like if it's like holding the big winners trophy, but there's nobody in your circle.
yeah,
And so that's what kind of also drove me to come back up here because I'd rather be celebrating and being on shows with you guys than the people down in Florida. You know what I
sure,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
So
I think there's a I think there's a whole, it's a weird kind of, it's a popularity contest that is also based on skill, which I appreciate.
yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's not about like, it's not that like people that get shots, like I know now that when you first start seeing somebody on television or
Hmm.
on being guest on stuff, you know that this is somebody that has put in a lot of time.
Yeah.
But it's also like they put in a lot of time to, like, they've shown their face enough times in public that enough people recognize it that they actually want to see it more because they
Yeah.
like the stuff that's coming out of it.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Like it, but it's something that's like, it's just exhausting. It's so exhausting. So
I
you go
know.
like, oh, should I go for more of a content thing, or like, but then you, like I said, bringing it all the way back, decided to go into wrestling.
Yes.
So why? So like you have a comedy, which is, this is not the first person to, you're not the first person to try like the parallels of like, oh, I want to do, it's performing. It's all
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
It's the same. It's the
Entertainment.
same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, all enforced. So with how the wrestling came about is when I went down to Florida, you guys had started the Falls Count Anywhere podcast. And previously, before I went down there, like Mike and all of them, they were wearing like the Bullet Club stuff. So that's what got me into watching New Japan more. Like I've always heard about it, but never, and then like Manny, I was going through like a really rough patch which just continued on, but at least I found a happiness in it with Manny and Youngblood introducing me to Joshi wrestling. You know what I mean? And that just kind
What's
of
Joshi wrestling?
the Japanese women's wrestling.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that like it just got me inspired just to like, because I'm a corny like weeb that just loves all the Japanese bullshit.
Uh-huh.
And so I was like, you know what, fuck it. Like, let me get this whole crazy concept because I'm all about pipe dreams. And I wanted to get into a wrestling scene and go indie wise, get some footage and stuff, and then try to get over to Japan's indie scene and then like marry some girl that get a green card wedding. You know what I mean? Like
That's very
the
interesting.
whole scandal thing, you know?
So
And
literally, that's why you got into
that's
wrestling
what I was
was
doing wrestling
because you
for.
wanted to
Move to
go.
Japan and get a green
You
card
wanted to
wedding.
get good enough. You thought you could. Okay. You thought you
You don't
honestly.
believe I
Hold
could
on a
do
second.
it.
No, no. I think that I honestly was thinking. How old are you?
28.
Okay, 28. I'm not saying. Look, this is what I honestly thought. I thought you were gonna get into wrestling and just be like, oh, I'm gonna try some, this stuff. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
But like, I believe the motivation of having a Japanese wrestling wife
Yeah.
can propel you.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. Can you go to the place where this is popular
Yeah.
and infiltrate their scene?
So
Do you
what?
really think that you can do that?
Yeah, because what happened is
Even I know that's hard.
no. But that's where I come in with the whole like I've done my research and work behind it.
Okay.
Where there's a wrestler who has my dream job because for the longest time Joshi Wrestling never had English commentary,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, well, if I can go over there, get in their wrestling scene, get a job with doing because now they have the non-Japanese wrestlers there doing English commentary, doing the stuff that I want to do.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So like there's always that possibility. And then
You're
also
just looking for a lane.
yeah, and
I
then
gotcha.
so what happened like when I had moved down to Maryland, I was living with my buddy who he's been to Japan a bunch. He speaks the language, he knows the, culture. He
Do you
knows
talk
like
about this on stage, by the way?
most likely.
No, do you talk about
No.
it on stage?
No.
You don't? This is fucking hilarious, by the way.
Sorry.
No, don't be why are you sorry.
I don't know.
I should apologize first of all because I interrupted your story
Mhm.
about the Japanese wrestling.
Mhm.
But you should absolutely talk about why wouldn't you talk about this on stage? The fact that you got into pro wrestling, you wanted to become a pro wrestler.
I think it's because it's fact, and I don't think fact is that funny.
That's
sometimes.
what are you talking
No,
about?
no, I know,
Yeah,
I know.
It's your point
but,
of view, bro.
But yeah, I know. It's just because it's one of those that like
That's
to
what
me
makes
it's normal. To me, it's normal.
That's
like
what
it's
makes
not
it
funny to
interesting.
me. It's just
That's what makes it interesting, Payne. It's the fact that I thought you were just some other fucking wrestling dweeb
no.
that was like, I'm gonna go fucking, I want to wrestle too. I want to do it.
That's
and I was
why
just
I
like,
hate
okay.
assumptions. People don't take the. I. That's why I wanted to do this the most. Is because I felt like we're cool, but there's like a weird language barrier between us that we need to like so that we're
still there.
literally
Yeah, it's gonna be there for a long time.
Oh yeah. So, but it's like how when I went to All Out with Youngblood and Wes, like Youngblood's whole like he was more excited for me to be introduced to Wes for as like a social experiment.
Yeah.
And then when we got back home, Wes is like, "You're
Interesting
very
guy.
interesting."
Yeah, very interesting man.
So
Yeah.
just even my psychologist or psychiatrist says, or
Yeah.
psychologist, yeah.
That's good. That's also interesting because it's almost like did she say it with dollar signs in her eyes? She goes, "You're very interesting."
Yeah, she's gonna want to deal with me for a long time.
So I apologize. I interrupted about you were
So
going into
Jeb,
detail.
so Jeb, he's well efficient. He's actually making an app now to help teach people Japanese through an RPG game. So that's cool.
That's cool.
Shout out.
Like that. Shout out.
And but yeah, he's trying to get a job over there. So I was gonna be on his coattails, and that's my way to get over there. And while he's paying bills, doing all that, blah blah blah, I get that work visa, and then I come in, get the green card way.
Yeah.
Sorry, this
I
is
got you.
my.
Yeah, it's a lot of hand signals.
Yeah,
It's a lot of weird hand signals. So okay,
it's a
so
weird path.
I get it. I get it. But I think that's way more. So like I wanted to get into like competitive jujitsu and stuff like that. I have
Yeah.
a lane that I'm trying to carve my own path
Yeah.
into jujitsu celebrity
Mhm.
because like I see a lot of these guys, they're really good at jujitsu,
Mhm.
and I see a lot of them. They're great grapplers. They have they're consistent. They're like great, and most of them like
Mhm.
like they look like very physically fit, but also
Yeah.
like there's also some that are like they look okay, they look whatever. They fight in the gi usually, so it's not like
Yeah.
flattering.
Like that Tyson Fury.
Yeah, Tyson Fury's a good he's a
Yeah.
boxer that's something like that. Yeah, he's not
He's
like
not in the best shape, but
right. But jujitsu in particular is a lane that I feel like I could do that almost in that same thing where I feel like there's a lane for me here. Like either I could
Yeah.
I'm gonna get into it. I'm trying to compete on a regular enough basis that I get good enough that I can compete in like national like
Yeah.
competitions to get a little bit more notoriety, or at least like get my face out there in that part too. But once I
Yeah.
get interviewed, once I get on a mic, it's over
Mm.
because I got the personality that none of these duds have. Because
Yeah,
none of them do
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
stand
yeah,
up. Like
yeah.
all of them are live. I'm gonna live, breathe, and die. Fucking
Yeah.
this. But I have very much the same thought, except for I'm already married. I'm not looking for a
Yeah.
jujitsu wife,
Yeah.
but I'm looking for jujitsu to be my
Yeah.
that's the lane that I can get into all the other stuff. Almost like how uh, I know we're not supposed to say his name anymore on podcasts, but Joe Rogan, much like Joe Rogan says, or has, like, he's got he's just naturally that into
Yeah.
MMA that he was like, yeah, I like this job, I like this
And
job,
it
I like this
yeah, all
job.
ties together.
Yeah, it's one of those things that if you're carving paths for yourself, then I honestly, that's such a specific dream too. I feel like
Mm.
there's nobody can hold you back from that
Well, that's why I always like,
except for you,
yeah, right. No, I am my
brother.
biggest my whole life everyone said I'm my worst enemy. But yeah, that's why I like the
Everybody?
whole name concept and I don't know.
I'm
But
sorry,
the
go ahead.
name concept of like Cedric the Entertainer, where it's like
Very specific,
yeah, but
but
it's that
with
whole
no
the
confusion. Yeah.
entertainer part where it's just like I always like variety. Like I can't if I do the same thing over and over, I get bored of it really quick, no matter what it is.
Oh,
Even Joshi wrestling, I got sick of it. I'm like currently I'm on like a hiatus from it because I got to the point where I would know every match. I would like the fun of watching it got away, and the more like the professional eyes watching. You know what I'm saying?
is it almost like
Inside baseball kind of thing.
yeah, you got too analytical with
Yeah,
watching
like
it.
with young blood and regular over here wrestling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I understand that.
yeah.
Yeah, I kind of. So is it? Do you think it may be like something possibly to do with you? Do you have an addictive personality?
Yes.
So that could be absolutely what it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get the same way. But and you also think a lot of times where you're like, oh, I'm addicted to running, I'm addicted to exercise, or I love fucking drinking water or
I'm
something like
addicted
that.
to the I don't know what
Yeah,
that is,
you're
but
addicted to entertainment, and you're like,
I
oh,
like
how
being
could this be
entertained.
bad? Like,
Yeah.
I love this wrestling, and then you get to like the end of it.
Yeah.
It's almost like when you watch too much porn. That's a really sad feeling when you watch, like, when you're not
I
even
want to
like,
have a conversation about porn then.
let's
Not right
go.
now. Not right now.
Why?
Oh, okay. Well,
Why
first,
not?
okay. Well, first, I'm gonna say this then.
Oh,
So that's
you
like
don't want it to be this close to the Japanese
we're
wrestling
getting
talk.
here's the transition into it.
Here it is. Watch out, guys.
Here we go. So baseball is boring to me, right? I
Uh-huh.
mean, I get it, right? But I want to go see a South Korean baseball game
Okay.
because they have cheerleaders and their cheerleaders dance to K-pop. So I
Okay.
think that will be the most entertaining baseball game I've ever seen. And I'm envious of every teenager that has gotten to go to this show.
Yeah, I understand
That would
that.
be amazing.
So
So
so where and are they? It's weird that baseball.
they take it real
The
serious over
Lightning
there.
have
Mm.
the Tampa Bay Lightning, a professional NHL hockey team, has cheerleaders also. It's
Shout out
really
South
weird.
Korean Tigers.
Is that professional league in like Korea,
Yeah, yeah,
or is it okay?
yeah.
Cool.
That's their baseball league.
Wow. I want to do that too. I've wanted to go to a Korean. I don't know if it's necessarily the ones depicted in the movie at the time,
Mhm.
but do you remember? Wasn't it what was the movie where they played baseball? It was like it was a team. It was Michael Keaton and no, fuck, what was it? No, that was the one with Tom Selleck, and he goes over and plays Japanese baseball.
Yes.
There
Yes,
was a
that
movie
was
like
Tom
that.
Selleck,
What was
yes.
that one?
I don't remember the name of the
Fuck.
movie, but that is yeah,
I'm
it
gonna
was
look that
Tom
up.
Selleck because I remember looking up Tom Selleck's like or movieography thingy, and I came across that. Is Tom Selleck is so funny.
1992 baseball movie.
Tom Selleck is basically Burt Reynolds that didn't die.
Mr. Baseball. That's what it is.
Mr. Baseball, hell yeah.
Is that what it was called? Is that the
Yeah.
one was no? Is
No.
that it?
No, wait, no, because that's the Dodgers. How many baseball movies did he do? That's weird.
Wait. Is that a Japanese guy down there?
There you go. Oh, I think it's probably because he played for the Dodgers. Something happens, and then he goes to over there.
Oh, I don't want to
That's
give
my
any
guess.
spoilers, but let's find out. Hold
That's
on.
that's
Is
like
Mr. Baseball a true story? While the movie is entirely fictitious, certain characters and scenes are based on real life personalities and events. The character of, can you say that? Uchiyama?
Uchiyama. Where are we? Show me on it. I don't know.
Right here.
Uchiyama.
Right here. Boom.
Uchiyama. Yeah, you got it.
Uchiyama?
Uchiyama.
Uchiyama manager of the team is very closely based on. Hold on.
Senichi Hoshino.
Yep. Who managed the Dragons, which is a fucking killer name for a
That's
baseball
dope.
team.
Yeah.
From 1987 to 1991, he returned to manage the Dragons from 1996 to 2001.
Sick.
So yeah, that's the one. So what was the one I was thinking of was the Michael Keaton movie where he's working at the factory and the Japanese people move in, and then like they have a baseball game. I think that was another one. So you want to go to a Korean baseball game? Is Korea where you want to wrestle as well?
No, I want to go to Japan. It's just
You
that
want to go all over.
no, it's just because it's like Korea has the K-pop and baseball and movies, and then Japan has all of like the
They do have baseball and
perversion,
movies.
anime, fucking buying
I
panties
like
at
that.
vending machines.
I
and
like
all
that
this
you're
stuff.
very okay. So that's the transition. The fact that you love the perversion.
So what gets me
I
into
like how open they are with it.
so also with that sports, I couldn't give two shits less about sports, but you put me into watching women's volleyball, women's indoor volleyball. I like women's tennis.
All
I
right.
like, you know what I mean?
Now you're kind of just being
Yeah.
a creep.
But it's the truth.
I understand that. I get
Ladies
it. I get
doing things is more interesting than watching a bunch of dudes do things.
I do agree with
That's
that.
my concept.
Yeah. I do. There is something about. I had a weird. We were talking about rabbit holes earlier,
Yeah.
like lanes that you go down.
Yeah.
I had a weird thing in my Instagram like stories just because of like things that I ended up. You know how like you click on a thing and then like if you like certain things, they'll start showing you more of those shit. That shit.
Yeah.
There's a couple female bodybuilder or female like things, and I was just like, damn, this does something for me. Like I was like, holy shit, fit women. And a couple years ago at the Olympics, there was this lady. There was a big black lady that was what's the one where they put the little
Shot put.
yeah, they put the big steel like ball thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it.
It's like a
ball on their
cannonball.
chin. They put it up to their face. Yeah, cannonball. That's
I
better.
was say, yeah.
Thank you. I was dying there. I was thinking. I was just like, I don't want to say ball on chin. I don't want to say ball on chin. We're talking about ladies sports. We are saying how beautiful they are, but we are saying that it is. I don't want to be that crude.
I got it.
But like she was like gorgeous,
Yeah.
but she was not what you would consider a traditional feminine form, which nowadays, Payne, that stereotype is being shattered. And I'm happy for it. But
I'm just saying, I'm like, never mind.
That's
me about to get too perverted.
Take it easy.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I like watching indoor volleyball.
Hey, it's hard on the knees, man.
It is. That's crazy. Actually, it's almost worse than carpentry. You like the pervert. I like the fact that you're open with being like you're like I like to watch
there is a
ladies
reason
wrestling.
behind it too.
I like to watch ladies wrestling, but I don't jerk off to that. But I do also appreciate Asian ladies in my pornography.
Yeah.
Like you're saying like I watch Asian porn. Don't get me wrong, but that's not why I watch. I like ladies wrestling because of the ladies wrestling. Not like watching them like I'm watching indoor volleyball.
I believe the subconscious reason why is just because like throughout my entire life, people have just assumed or just like said I was gay. So I think just that extra perversion, that extra perversion of me is just to double down. Like I like chicks. Like let's get that straight. I like chicks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like even with watching wrestling, like I won't watch the guys all that time because it's like, I don't want to watch a bunch of guys in their underwear.
I
like
get that every once in a while.
So that's like my whole.
I hear
it's
that
more of a visual appeal. You know what I mean to me.
Every once in a while, I hear about that of like a guy, like a really macho guy that's like, I only watch lesbian porn because I don't want to watch other guys.
That's
dicks.
weird. That part is weird.
Yeah, I think it's the voyeurism part of it that that's something I appreciate.
Yeah,
but
But go.
No, you were saying something. You're saying we were about to go into pornography,
and that's what. Yeah, because with the whole lesbian thing, I had a phase where I was like really into like Asian chicks making out because they do it so sloppily and gross. And this was when COVID was big, so I really like doubled down on how wrong it was.
You were like, I mean? yeah, super naughty. I get that. I get it.
So I believe that porn that because not okay. I was talking to a comic last night. I won't even say his name, but he was like, he's like, my phone is acting stupid and I know it's not a virus because I only watch the same porn. And I was like, why would you do that? I was like, why not mix it like variety, dude? Variety is the spice of life. Like I mean, granted, I've been single for a while and I was in like a whole conspiracy with somebody that's irrelevant. But
wait, what?
I was in a scandal not too long ago.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I was
remember
in
you saying,
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
in a
yeah,
little
yeah. We don't have to go
scandal.
into that
No,
either.
no.
It's fucking weird.
But and then this is the first moment of concussion brain for me.
The first moment? Oh,
Yeah,
you
where
forgot.
I forgot where I
You
was.
ready?
Yep.
I also remember that you were about to talk about pornography,
Yes.
and you were going to make a point about. I was listening. I promise. God damn it! You gave me concussion
Hell
brain.
yeah.
No,
Don't do drugs, kids.
no, you were talking about the extra perversion, going into extra perversion, and you were liking Japanese kissing videos during pandemic,
Yep. It was wrong.
and it was wrong.
I think that's it.
You really, legitimately, there was nothing after that.
Oh, yeah, just with that whole thing of just mixing it up. Because like I believe you should treat porn like a relationship. Like
Okay.
as stupid as that sounds, like use don't abuse, and then like you got to mix it up, and then it's just like I don't know.
Yeah, I can see
It's
that.
like the people that watch like the whole thing instead of skipping parts.
Yeah.
I remember I watched one and it started out with this girl playing like guitar, and I was like, this is really weird, but like in the right perspective, this is really hot. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see that. Well, it's being interested in different things. Like I said,
yeah,
like that, like kind of. Have you ever heard of Amazon position?
no,
Amazon position is a weird thing.
put you in a box in a hole.
So it's a straight. No, it's not the Bezos
I
one.
got you. I got you.
Think like Wonder Woman,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Taller broads. These.
Yeah. I
So
love the snoo from Futurama.
exactly,
Yeah.
right? So like there's a weird thing where it's like, man, what's that? What's like tall women? Like what's that about? Like,
Mhm.
you know?
I respect a tall woman. I went to this party thing. I went to an art show for this guy in Lancaster, whatever his name is. A lot of people know who he is. And
Banksy.
yeah, my dad graduated with him. And so he once a year he would throw these like little gallery parties, and what sold me is it's $10 to get in, open bar, right? Dude, I drank an entire bottle of tequila. I was having a blast.
Wow.
So I went
Gotta
to
love
this
art.
thing. Yeah, I went to this thing. Hot, beautiful people everywhere. Okay. I look pretty spiffy myself. And this is before the alcohol really kicked in. And so I'm at this party and I'm just fucking around with everybody because I personally don't think I'm ever gonna hook up with any of these kind of people. I don't have a chance with any of these kind of people. Like it's just let me just be 100. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Everybody loved me. It was all fun, fun, fun. And then I saw this one girl, and I walked up to her and I was like, I could really appreciate a woman's height. You know what I mean? Because it's rare. Like I'm 6'2", slouching, and then 6'3" if I stand up straight.
Uh-huh.
But she was tall. And
You
then
sound like that's something your aunt would say or something. Like, yeah,
yeah,
you're always slouching, Payne.
yeah, I do get that a lot. And so I tell her that, and then the weirdest thing happens that like 5 minutes goes by, and then she introduces me to her sister, and her sister looks like Princess Diana, but with like that Vietnam stare. You know what I mean? And like she was
Like,
really
what do you mean? Like just like a blank stare?
yeah. So like just look at a picture of Princess
Like she was
Diana.
hypnotized?
Yeah, like yeah. Well, the Vietnam stare, the fucking like
Yeah, the million yard stare or
yeah,
1,000 yard
yeah,
stare, whatever
Thousand
the
Yard
fuck it is.
Stairs,
Yeah.
but look like Princess Diana. So,
That's such an interesting fucking compare. Like, that's like
but there's
Princess
you'll
Diana with
understand.
PTSD or some shit. Like,
Yeah, so if she survived the crash and then had fucking
gotcha. Okay.
so because what happened was then she's introducing me to
You got to tell
her
me what
sister.
part of Vietnam we're in. Sorry, that was the part where I'm like, what is like? She missing limbs? What's going on?
No. I mean
Okay.
the 1,000 Yard Stare.
Gotcha.
I just
Gotcha.
related the two. So as she's introducing me to her sister, I remember that my friend that brought me to this place was telling me about that there's a girl there whose sister has like slight autism, right? So it puts two and two together who this person is.
Yeah.
So when they ask me what do, I tell them I'm a washed up, inspiring comedian.
Yeah.
Takes her, just walks away. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I don't even know the point of that story. But I
I,
just thought
you
it
know
was
the point
really
of that story?
silly.
You referred to yourself as it's. You said it's put two and two together.
Oh, yeah.
That's the funniest part. You just said it's put two and two together, and then she's the autistic one. So there, I think there's a lot of weird things that I'm finding out about you. Interesting things as well. I feel. Don't you? So
Do you know the porn thing? Do you know the thing that to look up if you can't find information on a porn? Because like, okay, there's this video I saw back in like high school, right? It's still available. And the last comment on there, the second to last comment on there is, who is she? The last comment
Oh
or
yeah.
the last comment was, answer this guy. And this is like 8 years ago. And I
Are
overheard
you
some.
watching the same porn over and over again?
No, no, no. This is it's like a throwback.
Okay,
You know what
okay.
I mean? It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
the old hits.
Soul
Yeah,
throwback.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
favorites. Gotcha.
Yeah. So
Your digital spank bank.
but I overheard at the Comedy Zone, there's a website where you can find. I think it's actually Reddit, not even a website. I think it's Reddit that have a thing that you can
Like a directory?
that they'll help you find the porn
Interesting.
video. Yeah, I think I don't. Maybe Manny. I don't know. I don't know. Somebody said it.
You were
and
just talking to, oh yeah, because that's the thing you were just talking to them about. That's a comic not to be named.
No, no, no. The comic to not be named was someone else.
so so it's almost like it's like a ranking. Is it a ranking or is it a, because I don't know, what do you, I've never heard of this directory.
No, 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 no. It's not. It's just that like if you watch like one of those like low porn, I don't know why I just went like that to the
Yeah.
camera, but it's one of those like the lower produced porns that when you go to like more
The
like
lower
info,
produced,
they don't
yeah.
have the info of the guy's name, the girl's name, or
I
any of
think
that
it
stuff.
means because it's stolen. I think it's because they stole it from somewhere. They don't want to put like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
they
yeah,
like
yeah.
they took it from another thing.
Okay.
There's I think that's what it is. I think that's the issue. So, but I understand. I
Yeah,
understand
but
what
there's
you're
people
talking
that
about,
if you
yeah.
describe it, they know what you're.
You know, it's a fun little game I like to play every once in a while is like when you're on a page, like the porno page or whatever,
Yeah.
and then you see those little clips on the bottom. It's just being like, oh, I wonder if I could find out who that is. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, because I don't know who that is, but it's
I
also like, why would you? And also, are they? Is this a targeted ad? Are they just showing me these interesting things? Because my biggest thing with porn is I've gotten into a thing where I'm not. I don't feel the addiction part of it as much
Mhm.
anymore. Like, it's not like I'm like, "Ugh," but like I'm
Mhm.
definitely like it's kind of turned almost into a social media kind of same dopamine thing
Yeah.
of this kind of thing of like it's almost like I don't play Bejeweled, but I play like, can I find the broad in the banner ad? You know what I mean? And just be like, oh yeah,
That's
that's blah
so
blah blah.
funny.
And just I don't want to ever, I never want to watch, I don't like watching porn. I genuinely don't. I am genuinely not turned on or entertained necessarily by porn that people don't want to be making. If I could tell they don't want to be making it,
Gotcha.
do you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, the uncomfortable face.
well, not just the uncomfortable face, but of just like the like any not
Mm.
even overproduced, underproduced. Like if it's just if literally at any point they're like covering, you know what I mean? Like they're
Yeah.
covering their face, like whether it be an
Oh,
amateur
blurs I
thing,
don't watch. Yeah, I
like
can't
any
do
of that stuff,
blurs
because
or any
it's
of that
like
stuff, which is ironic because Asian stuff, but
it's all blurred, right?
No, you can get behind it. They have the uncensored.
That's
Yeah.
so funny to you.
It's just weird that
Of course, you know that.
yeah, pixels don't turn me on.
But that's the thing is I do appreciate the amount. I do appreciate the, we were actually joking about this at the hair studio show. We did a great show at the Red Horse hair studio in that was in, fuck, what was it? It was right outside Reading, but it was officially it was Temple, PA, I think.
Mhm.
But it was right outside Reading, and great guys, great place. Sarah Cartwright hosted it. Casey was on the show. Manny was on the show. Fun night. Lowish turnout, but not bad for like their second ever comedy
Yeah.
show. And it's at a barber shop, like, or
Yeah.
a hair studio thing after hours. It's pretty interesting. I like that they're kind of they've done music there. They've done a couple things. It's really fun. But we're what? What? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Because they're always doing stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what I was saying is that Sarah has the work ethic of Ron Kane.
Yeah.
Where they do a lot of, because I always see her put.
It's funny
shows
that
on.
you felt like you had to do that. I don't know.
Oh, because
Are you
I don't
afraid
know.
of starting beef?
I don't know.
No. Yeah.
It's funny because they were actually against each other in the first round of the roast battle.
Yeah. I don't think that yeah. I don't think. Well, we can get into that too if you want. But we didn't talk about, or no, I don't think they're like competing or anything.
No,
if
no,
that's
no.
the
Yeah,
case.
I was
Yeah.
just teasing.
Yeah.
Teased off my stuff.
But they were like, they were super generous and everything like that. But afterwards, we were hanging out and like we're just shooting the shit with them, and somehow the conversation in the back got to circumcised and not circumcised penises.
Mm.
And I feel like the desensitization, the desensitivity, I guess, that like apparently circumcised people get because they're always exposed. The head's always
Mm.
exposed as well, but the circumcised one, it's got the little turtleneck on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I that I feel like is what the Japanese people. It's not necessarily like the blurs on the face. Obviously, are for to keep them. They're
No, they have a mix too as well.
yeah, but there's also the blurs down there because I
Yeah.
feel like. Do you think it's almost like to add that extra little bit of like, you know what I mean? Like you're not going to get
Yeah.
desensitized to.
No. So it's kind of that, but then the other
You're
reason
seeing other stuff though. Like
the
you're
other
seeing.
reason they do that though, the other reason they do it for a lot of like the gravier girls, which are like the girls that do like lewd instead of actual nude. You know what I mean? So what it'll be is
No.
like, so what it is like they'll do like a lot of like shots, like pan shots of them at the beach in bikinis, and then they'll have one of them like in a chair or like laying down with their, no bra, but like covering up. And then that's the same with the porn where it's like some chicks like there's a weird thing in their entertainment that like they'll talk about their age from like 16 to like 28. Well, like once you hit 30, like they don't talk about your age anymore and you're just too old basically. So like some of these chicks they'll go into porn, but it'll be respectful porn, and that's where that blurred stuff is. So it gives that person a little bit of something to themselves, you know what I mean?
So they're essentially like they want to be still considered like softcore porn
It's still
actresses, but they're not softcore porn actresses.
Yeah. That's what that is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's very strange. It's almost like there was. I remember. Do you remember when that Pirates movie came out? Not the Johnny Depp one, but the porn one. Do you remember?
No.
It was Pirates. It was. Hold on. I don't know if you'll probably recognize if you've ever been in a porn shop ever.
Oh no, I've never stepped into one.
Never.
I've always wanted to.
28 years old. You've never been in a porn
I'm
shop.
too shy.
That's bullshit.
It's the truth though, but
I
haven't been in one though.
So porn version of I didn't mean to do all that.
Oh, I love these things. Like they have one for like Metal Gear Solid. That's hilarious.
It's like
the Simpsons one is like the scariest.
It's like
one.
a direct ripoff. Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean is hot. So let's take porn actresses and just do a porn version of Pirates. Okay. So they did this, right?
Yeah.
They made obviously it's with all of the main porn stars, right? It's got your Janine Lindmulder, this lady, also this lady. I can't even actually read it really. What's her name?
Something.
Hold on. Directed by June, written by June, produced by June, and Samantha Lewis.
Can't wait for July.
Starring Jessie Jane, Carmen Luvana, Janine, which is the lady from the Blink-182 cover.
That's hilarious.
Tegan Presley, Devon.
Devon.
Is that right?
No. Just be stupid.
Right? Isn't it DV? Yeah, either way. Genevieve Jolie. And either way, Evan Stone. June apparently is also the cinematographer. But it's a straight up porno, right? Yeah. They did a porn, like one of those super produced pornos, which is pretty hot, because it's got D's and V's and everything.
Yeah.
But they also did like a PG-13 version of it.
Oh, where they don't show the nipples or the.
No, they show nipples, but they don't show penetration.
Yeah, I was actually gonna.
And they don't actually show like detailed and or like penis. Again, P or V.
Yeah.
So I wonder why, like they would have that lane, but then also because I was working at Hollywood Video, and I saw that we got Pirates, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, do we actually are we carrying porno now? Like, I actually rented it because I was like, I have to see what this is. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have to see what they're actually, because like, what are we renting?
It was a mix up. Somebody was supposed to turn in Caribbean, but they gave you.
Yeah, right. No, it was in the shipment, dude. It was fucking. Okay. It was from like the. So I was like, what the fuck? Are we putting this on the shelf?
Nice.
So I don't know why, but we have like it goes. That was like a lane for a little bit.
Yeah.
Here too. So I understand that, but like they weren't. I don't think in that version. I think they were still simulating. I don't think it was because they weren't even like. I don't even think they had their pants all the way off. So I think they just poked. They're just like insinuating like, oh, I'm gonna poke it through me.
Yeah, that's how the porn was on like cable free on demand.
Yeah,
like that stuff. They always had those where it's like big tits, but like they don't show like the bottoms stuff, you know.
Yeah, big tits, but they don't show the bottoms.
They
That's
don't
in the
show the,
description.
you know,
I
penetration, as
actually
people would
had a
say.
really, I had a really huge, like, we're talking about like maybe not even formative years.
Oh,
Well, maybe like, yeah,
yeah.
early on, probably 12, 13. So definitely, pubish times, right?
Yeah.
Skinamax. After hours,
Cinema.
there was one particular lady that I remember. I was just like, how, because I was like, some of them, I think some of those movies and stuff like that, they were like you were saying, almost like those Japanese ladies that were like, we're regular porn stars that take D's and V's, but we'll also do these softcore movies too, where we just have to show our B's,
Yep.
right? And B's. Like they show lots of butts and boobs.
It's like comics doing a charity show.
Yeah, they're doing a thing where like, yeah, I can
Okay.
I can definitely fake it like this.
Yeah.
So they're doing these movies where they're like dramatic. They're shitty movies. They're terrible
Mhm.
movies. But I would always like either sneakily try to record them or whatever. But there's one lady in particular that I was just like so infatuated with, Kira Reed,
Mhm.
and she ended up getting into like legitimate acting,
Mm.
which was so strange to me because I was just like, what? It was almost like, it was kind of like the same feeling you get when you see like a porn star that gets into regular acting, and you're like,
This is
I
weird.
don't know if
Yeah.
anybody was watching it for the
Breaking
that
the fourth
acting.
wall.
We were
Yeah,
watching
yeah,
for the other acting
yeah.
that you were doing. But I think it's interesting that there's that whole for a short period of time, probably like the 90s and like early 2000s, that was an option, like the PG-13 version of porn. But I think by now we're off the edge.
There's no, yeah.
There's no more, and like you said, you have to kind of treat it like, you almost have to treat it like a, in your case, I think that's kind of a healthy way to look at it, treating it like a relationship,
Yeah.
spicing it up, trying new things and all that stuff, but also let's keep those expectations,
Well, yeah, because I mean, like, there's those, like, it's just like, it's like if somebody just works their way up to like the hardcore pounding, screaming shit, and then that's all they watch. I just feel like you're gonna desensitize yourself to, like,
not
you
just
know,
that. I think just overall, I think just the accessibility, I think is
yeah,
an oversensitization, like over. Wait, what did I just say? It can make you
overstimulating.
overstimulate. That's the word. Thank you. You can oversensitize yourself. You can overstimulate.
I'm so sensitive.
You can overstimulate just because, again, it's like it almost becomes the social media thing, the dopamine. Like it's an addiction, but it's also like a distraction.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good way to think about at least keeping it, and especially I don't think overcompensating your creep, like not your creepness, but your porn, like I love porn and I love women because I'm not gay. That's not
Mm-mm.
helping anything. I don't think you have to do that. I think you
Mm.
can just like what you like.
I I don't know. I never really was into like the porn star. Like all those chicks, I wouldn't be into. I wouldn't watch anything of
Yeah,
those.
it's
Like
a,
those big fake tit things aren't mine.
yeah,
Like
they're
I just
weird.
can't.
Again, that's the 90s, early 2000s. I think that was
Yeah,
2005 or
I
whatever it was.
prefer like normal looking people.
Yeah, all natch.
Just
Yeah, I was
yeah.
always an all natch guy. That's the thing is
Mm,
I don't, my thing again with porn too, like just to clarify that like thing, it's like it's not just normal. I want to support like the fact that like I really don't want to actually like steal porn, but also I'm also not comfortable paying.
yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, I
it's
know.
interesting. It's a weird thing because I think there is a line. Like you said, you've never been into a porn store.
Mm,
You think there everybody has their line, but mine's not necessarily just paying for it. It's when it gets down to the more independent level. It's weird
yeah,
because paying for something like Pirates, like if I bought the movie Pirates, the porno version of it, I wouldn't feel so guilty, except for the fact that I probably pay way too much for it.
yeah,
But if you pay for like an OnlyFans of like of somebody, like it feels more personal. Do you know what I'm saying? But those are the
yeah,
things, like the just regular people doing porn are the people that I support because it's like those are the people that don't like, they didn't have to, like, they're doing it because they want to do it. They enjoy doing this. They like having
yeah,
this, like people watch them either diddle themselves or get fucked or fuck somebody or something like that.
yeah,
And like they're like, and then they can build an audience with it. Like it's so fucking cool.
yeah,
Like I like that that's where it kind of ended up. It was a rough time for porn stars, I think, for a long
yeah,
time, like with the internet and people getting their shit stolen.
yeah.
But now it doesn't feel right, but it also doesn't feel right to pay for it either. Like, so it's kind of like the perfect balance right now to where like, hey, also maybe it's just the right time to like ease up on the porn and not and then but also watch the porn that people want you to see. Not like go to a studio and say like this is studio had last edit, the fucking they did it's fucking and it's like disgusting shit. It's like fucking I threw up on your dick or something like and it's like come on man, like why do you have to
It's
gapers
icky,
and
icky.
fucking all this
I
weird
don't like that stuff.
aggressive shit? That's all fucking weird. And that's not it's not to say that people like I don't mean to kink shame either. If you're into weird shit where and I'm calling it weird shit because it's just not the shit
It's
that
excessive.
I'm into. No, it's just because it's not the shit I'm into. It's
Mhm.
literally just a other shit. If you're into other shit that I'm not into, like choking or pinching or punching or, or whatever the fuck it is, slapping, spitting, all that shit. Hey, do your own thing. It's just it's a thing of like it's the expectation that I don't get the appeal. I don't think or no, I don't get the feeling that it's you're giving people the impression that this is what sex is like because some people, guess what, do like that shit. But if it is the only thing, or if it's like the normal thing, or if there's weird trends with shit where it's just like, oh, now we're all it's like a weird thing.
Oh, TikTok challenges are that whole
I
everything's a fucking
any of that stuff, like where it's like, but now there's like porn stars that are like, oh, I do a TikTok dance where at the end of it we're fucking in the bathroom or something. It's like
hilarious.
It's like what the fuck is going on? It doesn't make any sense anymore. But I like it's almost like the same way the route that MMA is taken, where it's like it's cool that it's more mainstream, but it's also kind of strange that it is. Like same thing as like with like weed being more legal, like the fact that it's because it was pretty legal when I was younger. Like it was starting to become medicinal in a lot of places, in some places. But it's like now where it's like, oh shit, like
everybody's high.
Somebody's doing, yeah, maybe that's it too. Everybody's high, just fuck themselves on cameras. It's something that I truly do. It's something that I truly do like envy. I kind of do like, you know how it feels like every comic, every person that I've met that does comedy always had like a dream. Like comedy was a dream as well, but it was never like realistic, especially people that lived outside of like major like areas, major cities and stuff like that, like Florida, even Orlando, like Tampa, like kind of now is a little bit better for comedy. And even when I was going there a little bit back then, there was some open mics in other places, but for the most part, like you wanted to be in a band, you wanted to be a wrestler, you wanted to be in like something, there's another lane for you. I truly, and you always idolize the weird, like I idolize painters, like artistic painters, like people that can paint a painting. I think it's awesome. I am truly astounded by it. I know that really all it's just, and it's the same thing with porn. It's just I idolize people that are like I love setting up a camera and fucking myself and then putting it on for people to watch and jerk off to. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where you're like, you know what? Good for I think I idolize that amount of confidence in both scenarios. Because either way, what you're doing is permanent. You know, you get a canvas and you start painting on it, and then you're like, oh shit, I fucked up. And then you're like, I have to, it's done. Like this is on here for, you can't just like erase, you can't take it off. There's something about painting that is ultimately, I know you can get another canvas, you can do it, whatever, or you can paint over it, you can wait for it to dry or something. But ultimately that mistake, like there's mistakes on paintings that are iconic that we'll never see, that we don't know, that were painted over or that were fucking covered up somehow. It's incredible to me.
I just don't like splatter paint.
No,
that's the most bullshit of
that
art
seems like
ever.
It's all mistakes. It's like that's legitimately turning lemonades into lemonade or lemons into lemonade. You know,
because like there's the one where the guy is like splattering shit down. I'm like, that doesn't
Jackson Pollock.
They wanna.
What are you talking about, Jackson? Are you talking about what about this?
Oh, I don't know names. I don't know people's names, but I just know that there's people who just do that splatter paint, and I'm just like, that's not art.
What about spin art?
Spin art's okay because that's all about color composition.
Yeah, we used to have a thing like this. We had a
And there's a
spirograph.
guy that does one, and then he turns them into like Saturns, like planets. Like that
Oh,
one looked fucking sick. But that's where it's like it's the same thing with homeless people. It's like don't sit there and ask me to give you $1. Like do something then. You know.
Jesus.
I just took a real like sharp turn there. I'm sorry.
You know what's funny though? I used to think it was. It's funny you brought that up because they're back in St. Pete. We used to go downtown St. Pete, and there's tons of homeless people down there, but they're not like. They're not. You don't feel danger
Yeah,
in danger
yeah. They're just
necessarily.
chilling.
It's just they just ask you for money. And honestly, if I usually had something, I would give it to them.
Mm.
But they would go. There was like I had a friend that would always ask them to have him tell him a joke, or like sing a song. And I was like, I remember thinking like, oh, that's actually pretty cool because you
Yeah.
kind of make them. And then I'm also like, now that I'm thinking back to it, I'm like,
dance,
damn.
monkey dance.
Yeah, I'm like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? Like, here's your $1. Entertain me, boy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and it's like but I will say there was one guy, there's an infamous homeless guy that we met one night, and I have his phone number still. I still have his phone number. By the way, the homeless guy had a phone number, which was awesome.
Amazing. It was probably the local payphone.
Yeah, I think it was a cell phone. Actually,
Oh,
I can't remember. But his name was Leroy, and I think it was something like that. We're hanging outside this place. I think it was called the Cider House. I
Yeah.
think that was the one that we were hanging out at, and we're just having beers or whatever. And this guy comes up and he's like, "Hey, man," he's blah blah blah, and he starts. But he's got like he's nice, like he's like a cordial person.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
wasn't like the hey, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
he was
yeah.
like so. He's like, oh, can I get this? Blah blah blah. And we're like, well, could you? And he did the thing where he could, sing a song or something. He's like, oh, I was gonna do that anyway. And
It's sick.
he's like, because he's like, God bless. Like he started singing and shit like that. But we ended up buying him beers. Like we were
Yeah.
hanging out with him because like he was like just a super entertaining dude. He was singing Hotel California.
Sick.
And while he was singing the song Hotel California, because he was like, he looked at us, he's like, oh, you're white people, you'll like this, you'll like the eagle. And I was like, oh, that's so hilarious that he was just like, we're like, he's like, sing a song. He's like, hey, what do you want to hear? And he's like, anything. He's like, whatever you think. And he's like, I think he immediately, I don't think this is his go-to, but he knew the fucking words, right?
Yeah.
He was singing Hotel California flawlessly, and one of his teeth fell out. And he never stopped singing. He bent down, picked it up, and put the tooth in his pocket. And I was just like, this is the best motherfucking
That's
dude.
cool.
This is the coolest guy. And like,
But that's what I mean. Where it's like, I don't mean they got to perform something,
No,
but
I gotcha.
there's
I
got to
gotcha.
be something unique to them that it's like, oh, I'm actually giving you $1, not I'm giving a homeless person something.
yeah, like I want to help someone.
Yeah.
I don't want to just go like give $1 to someone because it's like,
Yeah.
because that was the thing is the dollar like, then you go into does $1 help, or are you going to buy food?
Or
I always got to the thing where I'm like, just buy whatever. I don't give a fuck what you buy
Yeah.
with it. Just don't ask me for a ride.
Yeah.
Because that's when it gets awkward, because it's like, I'm going the other way.
Even though you're totally not, but you're like,
Yeah.
I gotta go to a friend's house. I'm running late.
I have
use
to
that
leave right
excuse.
now. I have to
Yeah.
leave. No, usually it was the bullshit story that I didn't appreciate, and I don't even think it was homeless people necessarily. I think they were just possibly drug addicts, which is still
Yeah.
sad, but I don't give a fuck.
When I finally put my foot down on it is when I went to HMAC one night, and this guy was like, I need money for a plate, blah 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 blah. I was like, oh, and all I had was $1 on me, and the
Hey.
reason
Sorry.
the reason I
She
had
was about to
$1
sneak attack him while he was asleep, which is bullshit. That's not fair, Chloe.
that
Bitch.
So this guy, he's asking me for money, and all I had on me was $1 because here's a little insight. I can't drink right now because I have an ankle monitor on.
What?
But well, yeah, and they so I always get water when I go to the open mics and shit. So I go to, and I never gave Jose $1 or anything for these waters, and sometimes he'll get it for me without me asking. So get the $1 going. Guy asked me for money. I'm like, all I have is $1, and I was supposed to give it to the bartender, and he's like, ugh, and he just takes it and walks away. I was like,
Yeah.
no appreciation, dude.
Yeah.
And it's someone I've seen do this shit before.
It's unfortunate. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
unfortunate because like the argument is treat them like people.
Yeah.
Treat them like, like equals, essentially. Not equals, but yes, like the equals. Like they're human beings.
Mm.
You shouldn't just ignore them, blah blah blah. But if you just a person at the mic. Every time I saw you, we're like, "Hey man, can I get $1?"
Yeah.
Like, not how's your day?
Yeah.
Like, hey man, I hope you're having a good day. Or I know I'm already having a better day than the homeless person. Like, they
Yeah.
don't have to state the obvious.
People do that with me with cigarettes at the
But yeah,
Comedy
it's
Zone.
stuff like that. It was a problem I had. I'm talking about back in Florida,
Yeah.
where at every gas station I would go to, it would be just a lie. It would just be somebody lying, saying
Mm.
like, "Oh, my car broke down over the bridge. I need money to get that. My kids in the car." Like, they like lie, like, "My kids in the car." Like, either you're a terrible parent.
It's just like 2 blow up dolls in the back
Oh yeah,
seat.
or also like,
Yeah.
and it's always like, "Oh, can I get this?" Or, "My car broke out,
Yeah.
ran out of gas over there. Can it?" And I do understand, because I've also been in situations where I've run out of gas.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, it's people like, you ask me this every week.
Yeah.
I know that you're not out of gas, and if you are out of gas, you need to get your fucking life together.
One guy was
So,
asking me for money and he was pointing the direction of the ATM. I was like, "What are you what?"
are you
Like that
robbing
was
me?
yeah, that's I was like, "This is really weird, dude."
Yeah,
Like,
I think there is one it was one situations where I was leaving a Subway. This was around the time main popularity, like when it's first started, of the $5 footlong
yeah,
thing. That thing was going on for
the
a
end
while.
for Quiznos.
And I was like, "Man, I love me some $5 footlong subs." I was leaving the Subway, and there was a homeless person, like, around, like, and I you know what? And I say that, I possibly, but definitely down on their luck. They were, displaying homeless,
Mhm.
right? Isn't that an adorable
He's
kitty
so
cat?
cute.
Just a little Miss Clopoke. Hey, baby girl.
Ignored us all this time. He's like, "Now I want
Yeah, now you want
attention."
some attention. But there's a guy, and he's asking for money. And I go like this. I have $5 left. And this is like irresponsible as fuck, Pat, that spent like the last, like half of the last bit of his money getting this fucking foot long. Like, payday, I don't know when payday is. It's
Yeah.
probably not close, but either way, I have $5 left to my
Mhm.
name, and this guy asked me for money, and I give him $5 because I'm like, you know what? I bet he's got a little bit of change. He can get a fucking full sandwich. He's asking for money for food,
Yeah.
so here you go. And I give it to him, and I get in my car, and as I'm getting in my car, I see him pack up his stuff, stand up and walk over to the convenience store. And I'm just like, okay, so, but then I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, you can get 2 hot dogs for $1 there.
Yeah.
You can get chips for about,
Yeah.
dollar, $2 or something like that. But he came out with the bottle. And it's like, fuck. Because I was, and now I'm like, I gotta see this. But I was mainly like, all right, he got the bottle for the night. Cool. Don't
Yeah.
give a shit. Maybe even had some change left over. Hopefully got some cigarettes or something. But also, if I don't know if it's gonna be worth it anymore. Like, I felt good because I was like,
Mm.
"Oh, I'm poor now,
Yeah.
and he is rich in
He's
food. I helped him so much."
Yeah, yeah.
And I just remember thinking, like, don't do that for that reason. Do it because you want to help them. Try to stay on her head. If you go under her chin, she kind of freaks out sometimes. She's just a weirdo. I don't want her to kill you or
Bite me.
to rip your other hand off.
There was this guy who was juggling in DC.
Manny Santiago.
Yeah, so
Yep.
Manny was juggling in DC and he had a little suitcase next to him for people to throw money.
Uh-huh.
And I tossed in a 5 and realized it was a 5 and I went to go grab like $2 out. It's like change and my buddy stopped me and I was like,
Yeah, you can't do
"All
that.
right."
That's unfortunate. Yeah, you can't. Unfortunately, you can't do change in the old.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
The
because,
craziest person was when I went to Vegas and there's a guy in a fucking like long sleeve button up. He looked like he was going to an interview. He had like this green button up shirt on and the slacks. And he's just sitting there and he's going 25 cents, 20s, 25 cents, 20s. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And I had a whole pocket full of quarters, right? For that. Anytime I go to a city, I always bring change with me just for that. You know what I mean? And, so I'm walking by him and we're just laughing. And then not like at him, but we're just in my head, I'm laughing about it. And then as I hit the stairs, my pocket jingles and he's like, "Oh, you got quarter." And I was like, "Nah, dude." I'm like, "You're sitting there asking for 20s, dude."
yeah,
Like, I'm
this is
not-
nuts.
So I don't know if it was because he was like gonna break change or something. Like, I don't know, dude. That's such a off 25 cents or $20 is
I'm always afraid. I think I was just talking about this with somebody. I kind of always suspect the worst case scenario in every scenario.
Mhm.
Like there's always a situation where I'm just like, this is either like what could go wrong? What's the worst case in this problem? And I always think about like situations like that where especially when I had like way less money, like
Mhm.
on more than not occasion, you know what I mean? Like on a lot of occasions, I had a lot less money. So like a trip to Tampa,
Yeah.
a 45 hour or 45-minute car trip could be like, I don't know if my car's gonna make it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that. Like stuff like that, kind of like I think I was just thinking so uh stupidly
Yeah.
at that time, but I would always think like how can I not put myself in a situation where I'm going to, so like parking, like I was always like, okay, so I'd look at the boards like anytime I'm parking in a big city and I look
Mm.
at it and I go like, okay, so it says parking, if it's all day, okay, if it's all day, it's gonna cost me
Yeah.
48, $24, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
But if it's only what I think it should be, it should only be like $9.
Yeah.
So like worst case scenario, make sure you have at least 20, that much.
Th-
Don't get taken by somebody. I got
Yeah.
like there's a guy selling bootleg shirts after a show once, and I said like, oh, can I get a large and a extra large? And he just gave me two extra large. Or
Mm.
no, he gave me a 2X and a XL, and I was like, oh, I think I get, and he was like, oh, we're all set, man. And I was just like, oh yeah, actually you just gave me that, and he just like kept turning away from me, and I was just like,
Mm. He
oh.
got what he
It
needed. He's
was
done
kind of
with
like,
you.
oh, and like he didn't walk away. He just kept just turning
Ignorant.
away from me, and I was
Yeah.
just like, I feel like if I keep pursuing this, he's gonna attack me.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a parking garage here in Harrisburg that like they close their shutters at a certain time. I know it was when I went to a show for Liz was doing a play or something, and I went with a friend of mine, and I parked in the parking garage, and then we walked to the show. And as we came back, we noticed the fucking things were down. I was like, oh my god! And we had just like a few months before went to a Say Anything concert in Philly, and I left my keys in my car in the parking garage. So I'm just like, he's like, every time I go out with you,
Wait,
man, and I was like.
how?
What do you
Oh,
mean?
in the parking garage. Okay, I was thinking. For some reason I was thinking like parking garage. Like, so wait, they parked it and then left the keys in, but you parked
But
it
it
in the
was
parking.
me.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Fuck,
yeah,
that would suck.
yeah. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
City parking. Yeah, my grandfather says his great advice for if you go to the Philly, if any black dude asks you to watch your car for like $5, give him the $5 because if not, your tires are gonna get slashed when you get back. So that's my grandfather's outlook on it.
My grandfather told me I was going to be fat. So
Sick.
honestly, I think they have some kind of
some
special power where they
some
see the future.
yeah. I
I,
want to.
I wonder if I wonder how many of his like life lessons or how many parents' life lessons are just based solely on their parents' experience.
I think it's more based off of what their parents said that they think sounds better than their
You think
parents.
so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of like, oh, I can raise my kids better than you guys raised me.
Yeah, and it's a lot. Watch, I'll do this, and it's just
Dude,
like,
yeah.
no, every black guy's gonna want $5 from
Yeah.
you, Philly, or he's gonna slash your tires.
It's wild because they're Hispanic, but they're like really questionable about their.
Like, what's the inflation rate? Like, what's like? So what? Like, how he said that when you were a kid, right? How old were you when he said that to you?
No, this was like.
Like 2 years ago?
Yeah, this is like right before COVID because I
Oh
was going to
Jesus!
yeah because I was going to Florida or not Florida I was going to Philly for
He still thinks it costs only $5. Like, I would think by now, because if that's probably something that was happened to him. Do you think?
yeah, but that's something that would happen in a movie in the 80s. You know what
You
I
don't think that would
mean?
actually happen?
So some guy
I think it
waiting.
happened to him once. I think it because there was I heard a
I
story
think it's
of.
stories. I think it's just like wife's tales.
You think so? I thought
Some of it.
that's so
Some of it.
specific though. He's like, if a black guy asks you to watch his car for $5 on the street, do it or he'll slash your car. It seems so specific. Like,
Well,
I was there one day with your grandmother. We were going to the bakery, and this guy says, this colored fella, he says something like, I'll watch your car for $5. And I was like, it's fine. I can see it from here.
yeah.
And then I don't know why I
So
gave him that accent.
that's weird.
So he did. So it was literally like 2 years ago where he was just like, "Hey man, watch out, black
Just be
guys are gonna
careful.
cut your tires."
Yeah, I don't know where that comes from.
But then he did not warn you not to park your car in the parking garage without parking your keys in the car.
Well, that was
But
yeah.
so when you're gonna pass down memories to your children one day, you're gonna be like, "Hey kids, gather around. All right, two things.
things.
If a black guy sees you parking on the street, then you should definitely Angel me. Hey, what's going on? Hey, Angel, how's it going, buddy? I think there's weird like life lessons like that that I don't know. I don't think I got anything like that necessarily. Like there was a situation once. I remember there was like a weird like brawl that happened outside this bar. My friend's band was playing, and we were getting ready to leave. And there had been a situation at like downtown
Yeah.
earlier that night between like these like over the top punk kids and these like over the top like jock preppy kids or whatever. Like it was almost like a fucking movie, like a stupid
Yeah.
like a scene from a fucking
Grease
shitty
or
movie. Yeah.
or West
So
Side Story or something.
so they and I had been at the show that most of those people had been at as well. So I looked similar to them. I think I had spiky hair and shit like that, but like I wasn't like the fucking boots and the thing.
Yeah.
So we're walking down, these kids come around this corner and start like fucking with me and my brother, but I'm walking back to try to just get people to fucking come out because we were very much outnumbered and I knew that they weren't going to understand.
Mm.
So they start fucking around with my brother, but everybody's coming out of the bar. They start running away, and one guy just keeps shouting, "I'm gonna go to my car. I'm gonna go to my car." And I just kept going, "Go to your fucking car." Like I honestly, Payne, I did not know what he was implying. I'm in downtown. I'm in the city. But I'm just like, go to your fucking car, you
Yeah.
pussy. I was like, I don't give a fuck. Go to your car and come back, you fucking pussy bitch. And I kept talking shit. And I was just like, I was like focused on that one guy in particular because they were all kind of shouting stuff.
Yeah.
And we're also like, we aren't the people that fought you. So now you're attacking us for no reason and now running away when it's equaled out. But this guy's bragging about going to his car, and I go to your fucking car. And finally, one of the bouncers was like, I think he's saying that he's going to get a gun. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I was like, oh, don't, yeah.
Yeah. That's why.
Go
Yeah.
to the front seat, pal, not the back.
Yeah. Youngblood had a similar incident.
I had no idea. I had no
Yeah.
idea that was lingo for fucking. So that's what I'm saying is like, that'll be the advice that I pass down to my kids and
Yeah.
grandchildren is if he ever says he's going to his car, no matter what color he is, if they're saying that they're going to go to their car, if they're saying something
They're
that seems
implying they're gonna
very
get
non,
something. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it doesn't seem confrontational. Like, hey, I'm going to go to my car. Like, okay,
They're-
bye bye.
They're gonna go get
Oh, you're going to come back
confrontation.
with
Yeah,
a gun.
with
Oh,
confrontation.
Ooh. Oh, and like at that point, I was like, okay, well then I should probably go in the bar. I'm just gonna go in the bar. Then.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't deal with conflict.
We
like
don't do
that.
street lingo. You know what I mean? We're not street guys.
I am.
You are?
No,
you're not.
I am.
No,
A
you're
lot of people
not.
act like I'm not, but I am. It's just because I'm the way you perceive me, but I am. I've been around a lot of interesting shit that I can.
Yeah.
I have
I've
more of
seen
a
shit.
dynamic view. Yeah, it's that thing. I have a dynamic view on things.
But you're not tempered in it.
No.
You've
But
seen
I get
it.
what you're saying.
Yeah, I get what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I've been witness to many a fucked up thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where it's that whole like, that desensitized where it's like I'll be like I'm always prepared for any situation, but it's just but it's just that like
I think I'm at the point now where I've kind of always referred to myself as a peaceful nihilist.
Yeah.
Like I realize that nothing really matters and it's like I'm okay with it.
Mhm.
But like I think that's the kind of thing. I think I'm emotionally desensitized.
Yeah.
Like you kind of redline stuff. You deal with a death early on in the family. Like you're multiple deaths early on in my life. Like traumas, other kind of things, and then just normal Florida stuff.
Yeah.
You kind of go on. Yeah, exactly. Florida. That's always the funniest thing I noticed about people in Pennsylvania, like saying like, "Oh, this is a racist thing. This is terrible." Like, man, I'll tell you what, it gets so much fucking worse. I'm not saying that it's not that here, but it's like
the crazy thing is more white people know Spanish in Florida than anywhere else in this country.
Most people know how to how to say racial slurs in other languages. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there's more of that than anything. Yeah. Payne, you're skipping town? You're skipping town?
Thinking about it. Well, I am going on a vacation for a while.
Yeah.
Staycation. I mean,
what is there what are the odds what's the likelihood of you spending some time in school, let's say? That's how they refer to it in the MOP. You
My
did some time and you went to school for a while.
I think it's from 6 months to 18 months.
You
So,
nervous?
no.
Is it
It's more of a, for me, it's a more of a get away from the entire world kind of thing.
Payne's from, so actually this is funny, Angel. We were talking about this a little bit earlier. Payne kind of did a Pennsylvania, Florida back and forth. He kind of went back and forth growing up in both. So he's much similar to your boy over here. He is tempered in multiple types of he is a multiple degree brown belt and white trash.
Yeah, because like when I was dealing with my stepmom and that whole child abuse, blah blah bullshit, that was when the Casey Anthony thing was going down, and she
Oh,
lived
yeah,
like
yeah.
15 minutes up the road from us.
Yeah, Sanford, yeah.
So like that was a whole fucking mess and a half, like the nightmares from that whole situation. But when the Las Vegas shooting happened, I was there for that. Not there for that, but that's when the city was in chaos at that point when we got in there.
You arrived there after it happened?
So we landed like
You didn't do
as
it.
the guy was shooting. Like the shooting was going on, and then we landed and got out of and then when we got in the taxi, the taxi driver said, "Hey, there's a shooting. We don't know what the fuck's going on." Cops are
Painesy
everywhere.
Anthony.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Painesy Anthony.
That's the young blood pounding off hard on the comments there, dude. I like that
Hi,
one.
young blood.
But
We've
yeah,
had a couple shout outs.
that's scary. Actually, I have family. There was relatives of mine that were in like at that concert, at that thing. I think were in a different hotel.
Yeah.
But again, they heard the chaos and shot. They like, oh, we heard pops, blah blah blah. It's nuts, dude. Like
the reason I say I'm desensitized to the situation is because one, like obviously I wasn't there with the shooting danger over my head, but it's one of those that like we thought we had a gunshot at one point, so everybody starts running, and then we end up inside the New York, and I'm just gonna.
And you entered that, like you like were like landed, and you're like, "What's going on? Huh?
Yeah.
Huh? Where are the bags?"
That's why I have that joke where it's like the guy was like dragging an unconscious woman just because she was drunk, but then nobody like whatever happened to
we
this
don't know the
woman
context,
of this woman
Yeah.
because of a national crisis that just happened. You know,
That's crazy.
So, but so when we get inside the New York, long story short, we're hiding out. SWAT comes rushing in, and I'm there with two friends. They asked me to come because someone bailed out. And when SWAT storms in, they all start running out. And I'm like, well, what about our luggage? And everybody, that's when I also realized, like, never follow a crowd. Like, step aside, let the crowd fuck themselves over and find your own route out of a situation.
Yeah.
And so my friends ditch me. I'm with the luggage. I'm on the floor because obviously SWAT's like, get down, get down. And then next to me is like an older couple crying their fucking eyes out as if it's the end of the world. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, wow, okay, my friends just ditched me. You know, I called my ex-girlfriend just in case maybe this is the last time I talk to somebody. She doesn't answer her phone, goes straight to voicemail. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm in Vegas for the first time, and here we go. This is how I'm going to start it.
Way to make that tragedy all about you, Payne.
Yep.
Jesus Christ. Oh, my fucking girlfriend didn't answer me.
Yeah.
There's a police report somewhere with just the bitchiest Payne comments in it.
Yeah. And then I try to hook up with these two girls from the Czech Republic.
These SWAT guys were dicks to me.
Yeah, they cock blocked me.
These fucking
dude.
pussies over there crying, and my girlfriend didn't answer the phone.
Yeah.
That's how.
And all I wanted to do is keep the luggage together.
Jesus. Brandon says, old Youngblood here says, do you both enjoy PA over Florida? Less laws in Florida. Would you get
you can get away with a lot more in Florida.
No, I think here. I think there's
well, we're white though.
Yes. Well, I think that's implied. But but there's also a level of like here's more rural. You know what I mean? Like there's not a lot of
scenic.
There's scenic. Yeah, that's easier to say. There's more people in that area, I feel like, than like Pennsylvania. There's like a lot more. So like there's
and we
less
have
laws, but there's also
here.
like you can get away with more here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like kind of evens out like that. I also like the colder weather.
Florida is, as the name implies, it's a floor. It's flat. But it's an island. Yeah, you're basically on an island. Well, it's a peninsula, but yeah.
Angel pounding off here. He says you're desensitized because the internet. That's my fear with everyone. Yes, I would say that.
That's a major. Yeah, that's the one that connects with everybody.
We were talking about that earlier with porn too, like that kind of thing of like you kind of just get desensitized. it almost becomes everything kind of becomes that dopamine drip where you're
Yeah.
like just scrolling through like Facebook comment things. Like I get that in those cycles, and I just kind of have to like.
It's like the shootings, all the shootings that happen. It's like you just hear about, why is her mouth open? Like,
think she's
okay.
so he might. I think something happens like every once in a while, like they can smell the other one, and they're just like they have that like weird like pheromone thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
We got Brandon also saying blue balls from the blue line. Oh wait, what?
Blue balls from blue line.
Pat is that a Slayer shirt? Yeah, hell yeah. That looks Slayer. Hell wait, I got a Hot Topic. Yeah, I still shop at Hot Topic.
I missed the new album with a shirt deal that they had for $20.
Yeah.
That was such a great deal. I liked it.
That I miss, and they still do it on iTunes, but I miss the new release day being like at like certain places like Best Buy. A lot of times would have super. They ended up crushing independent retailers, which ended up ultimately kind of sucking. But they would also have great deals where you can go like, oh shit, this brand new, and they would have cooler bands. Like they would have bands that I would listen to, not just like the popular bands. Like it was cool to have a band I liked that was there, and also their CD was like on sale for like $9.99. $9.99, like that's kind of the price for most albums nowadays. But nobody really listens to albums, I don't feel like anymore.
I still get CDs.
You
I'll still
but
buy
you listen to it like all the way through one like
well, because now where I'm at now is that whole K-pop phase. So it's just a lot of K-pop. But K-pop, they have such a their packaging for a CD is so great that it's worth every penny or dollar, whatever.
Yeah.
And
how much is the last K-pop
this
CD
last CD I got, it was I only paid like $25 for it. And then
you get a
but I
t-shirt
got
with
the
it?
CD, I got a CD, I got a photo book, I got and then a bunch of little photo cards too with it. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
So, and it was in its own little sealed bag. And then there was another one I got that came in like a box, like a magnetized box, and all the cool
What's the
little stuff.
K-pop outfit you're listening to? What is the
So right now my big ones are Twice, obviously, because they're the biggest group of all of them.
I've never heard of them, but yeah.
Yep. And then
I'm gonna put down K-pop.
Yeah. Blackpink, everybody is the most westernized known one.
What does that mean?
Like it's more known here.
Oh.
Of all the like if I say Blackpink, more people will have heard of Blackpink or their songs. The other groups I would mention. But so that's what started me into that rabbit hole. But then I found everything else that I like way more than them. So yeah, Twice, and then there's like a bunch of like, and then the K-pop is broken into generations. So right now we're in the 4th generation of K-pop, where we're working on the next generation of stars.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Youngblood pounding off real hard here, like
Youngblood.
that. Saying miss New Music Tuesday. You remember that's when it was. It used to be Tuesdays were new release day for stuff, because I remember that working at video stores and like certain places that lasted for a while. They switched it to Friday, which makes more sense because it's most people's paydays, I think. But I like the Tuesday new release day because if like, especially when I started working full time, or I started working on like a regular basis, at least I think, because I was like 17 probably at the time, and I went to at like Youngblood says, going to FYE after school every Tuesday.
FYE was dope.
It was an FYE, and I wanted to buy. It was the new album, "The War on Errorism" by NoFX.
Okay.
And I was expecting it to be on sale because it was a new release. Because usually new releases are about $9.99. So I had saved up exactly the amount of $9.99 plus the sales tax.
Okay.
Like I had the exact amount. I knew
like $1.06 for a cheeseburger.
Like I was that poor. Yeah, exactly. I was fucking poor as fuck. I was that, but I was like, this is my all-time favorite band. I need this fucking album. And it wasn't as easy to rip or steal music at the time. And I just really, honestly, I wanted to listen to it. Actually, I think I stopped by the place before work that day. So I went in and the CD ended up being like ringing up to like $13 or something like that. The guy ended up giving it to me for the price. This is a chain. I don't understand how he did it, but he goes, "Let this be a lesson to you about capitalism," or something like that. Because I think he was being like, little punk kid doesn't have enough money. I don't give a fuck. I was like, cool. I legitimately remember that story. It taught me nothing about money or anything. And I just got to listen to a fucking pretty solid fucking album. A little bit earlier than most of the people I know. And then I would just make copies for my friends.
I was really not allowed to explore things when I was younger, and so like all my music came from like when my parents went to work, and like right before I would go to the bus stop, I
Yeah.
would like go to the on-demand music videos section.
Oh yeah.
So like that's how like one of my favorite songs, like obviously Gorilla's Demon Days, though
Obviously.
that album like was phenomenal. I remember that's when I got introduced to System of a Down. The music video for Sugar, it was just so wild, and
Yeah.
like that song is just wild. And like I had to keep a lot of that hidden. And then but when I got up here, that's when I started branching out into more music. And then I learned like to appreciate more of albums, because like there would be like a really good song I'd hear on MTV or VH1. I'm like, oh, I fucking love this song. And then I go buy their album and I'm like, oh, 10 songs and I only
Yeah.
like this one. And that's
Remember
where I
like
got,
listening stations and shit like that, where you could just go up and boop the CD and you
yeah.
could listen to a couple songs. And you're like,
Oh
oh yeah,
shit. Yeah,
yeah.
dude. It's they had them in oh, have you ever been to fucking, I don't know what it had a bongos though in Florida, but it was like this
Specs. There's Specs. Specs is kind of what ended up getting taken over by FYE.
where it's like it was like there was one that it was across from a bongos, and yeah, it was like two stories, and it
Yeah.
was like CDs everywhere, music videos are playing.
Yeah.
And they had those little set that's
Yeah. And you could do
I
that. You
haven't
go up
thought
there,
about that place in
you go boop,
forever.
and then you
Yeah.
go like you listen to like little clips, and they
It's
again
like 30
it's the same.
seconds of each song.
It's the same thing they do on iTunes now, where you
Yep.
can listen to a little
Little
clip of it.
sample.
But it's you could, that was something about the tactile. Like, I don't give a fuck about vinyl. I really honestly
No.
don't give a shit about vinyl. I don't care about most
Yeah.
things. Like you can listen to music in a couple. I like headphones. Headphones are really nice.
Yeah.
You don't even need like the whole little turntable thing. You can like have it on your iPod.
I think I know what you're getting
iPod.
at, in the sense of it having that physical thing where
But
you're
there's
looking at
something
the
about
art.
shopping for it that I
Yeah,
like.
and then yeah, it's the same thing with somebody brought it up too with like video games, where it's like I miss the days of like going to GameStop, and then on the drive home from GameStop you open the
Yeah.
you
People are
read the
thinking
book and
like,
all this
how
stuff. Like,
amazing is it going to be that one day you could just be sitting there and like have all this music in front of you and you
Yeah.
could just access it with just at your fingertips. And it's like, yeah,
and
like
I
a
think
fucking music store where you're just standing there and you go like this, boop, and
yeah,
listen to it and go like, I don't like this.
I think that's why a lot of people just follow to follow.
That was the peak. I think
Yeah.
that was honestly the peak of music buying at the
Yeah.
time. Like it's perfect now, but it's really oversaturated with like streaming and shit.
Yeah.
But at music buying, just music purchasing, I feel like was at its peak at that exact time, because you still wanted to like, even with Napster and shit like that, you could download what they said was
Yeah.
this thing, but you download something and you're like, it's either, it could be a virus, it could be something completely fucking different, could be missing a song, could be out of order, could be not have the album art or that, where you're just like, come on, damn it. I like just going to a goddamn store, looking at a thing and saying like, oh, look
Yeah.
at that. That looks cool. Checking, looking, like feeling, oh, it
Yeah.
feels like that. Like
That's why I liked Rock Sound magazine, because they had they
in
gave
my
you
day,
they gave you a CD with 20 songs from 20 different bands. And then there was like an app that it was the calendar, like 365 days all year. And every day when you went on the app, it was a new band to listen to. And I feel like with streaming and all that stuff, now that's why everybody just follows the hits, or it's
Yeah.
hard to get like deep dives anymore,
Yeah.
really, because nobody's really taking the time to like search down
to
into
look,
stuff.
to
Yeah.
look
Like
at stuff.
who digs into the $5
They're like,
bin
this
at
is something you're
Walmart?
gonna like. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, how do I know? I don't know this. I could look at something and see, like, again, it's the same thing where like you can
Yeah.
still see the album cover and still say like, oh, that's cool, but are you looking for that?
Yeah.
Are you actually there? Could you
Yeah.
literally stumble upon it?
And with the magazine thing, it was nice to like get a description of the band and like kind of get like a vibe, like where they're from. You know what I mean? Like I like a little bit of backstory to whatever.
Back in my day, I think it is absolutely, that's a good segment. I'm gonna make that a segment. You're right, Youngblood. We got pounding off here. He says, Youngblood saying, I lost faith in humanity once we allowed Blockbuster to close. I agree. Again, it's the tactile, it's the mission. It's going out to find the thing, to look at it, feel the weight of it, and go like, oh, this looks
GameStop
like
was the shit, but they were losing their own money, because it was you can get a game, and as long as you beat it within 14 days in
Yeah.
return, it was just
Yeah.
you get
I
your
like
money
that.
back. I miss that, dude.
Is Bush the only president that people? Yeah. Youngblood also says, is Bush the only president that people hated enough to write songs about? No. I think there's plenty of other ones.
There's got to be songs about like Nixon.
Maybe good songs. Youngblood also says the nerd in me cares about vinyl, but honestly, streaming sounds much better. Yeah, I understand
Somebody
that.
was saying that the upkeep for vinyl isn't worth it though.
But it's also it's
It's
just
more of a it's more of a collective piece than something to use. That's what I
I
heard.
get it. Like
Yeah.
I won't shame the vinyl collectors or anything like that, but
I
I think
collect Joshi magazines.
but I don't.
No shame.
Yeah, yeah. I personally don't give a shit. I think overall, I was telling this to Dominique. I was like, I think overall paper will have value
Yeah.
after time because everything will be so. Oh, it's paperless, paperless. Then
Yeah.
we'll be like, oh, look,
Everything's online.
there's a nostalgic paper book
Yeah.
version of it. Like where you can actually open it and
Yeah.
look inside.
That clicked for me not too long ago.
Yeah.
With
It
that
just
whole
goes around. It's cyclical. It just goes around and
Oh,
round and round and
that's
round.
the
and
other, yeah, because my buddy Eric we were watching some fucking movie, doesn't matter, and he was telling me like you need to buy all your physical copies now of everything because once everything goes digital, they can edit it however they want it. Because like there's episodes of Community that you can't watch. There's episodes of like other things that streaming services or all them they take down. Like
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
never seen Community, but he was telling me this, and
Mm.
yeah, so there's a lot of
Interesting.
a lot of stuff, a lot of media is now going to be edited, that people are going to have access to.
I didn't
So
even
it's
think of
better
it
to
in
get
that
the original.
sense.
Yeah, it's
I
better
was
to get the originals of
I was
things.
thinking of it more as them like not they're just not being physical versions of things after
Yeah.
a while. They just won't
But
be
the
more.
editing
Yeah, yeah.
part is what's scary.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point. Hmm.
Yeah.
Not even I don't even think that conspiratorial because we're already seeing it.
Yeah.
You're
Oh
already
yeah, yeah. There's a I forget what movie it was, but he told me that there's a whole movie that they took the beginning scene out. It's a good chunk of the movie because it just doesn't fit into this narrative today.
Interesting.
So
I
now,
mean, that could be said about a lot of
oh yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
things.
yeah.
But I think we can start wrapping it up. Do you so I guess in that case, going forward,
Mhm.
what do you like what are your goals for Payne?
Well, I'm gonna do this work release thing for a while. Hopefully, I get this promotion at Arby's. If you ever want some meats, let me know.
Fantastic sandwich, by the way. I had one of your masterpieces just last night for dinner.
I did a little spice up. It was a
I
beef and
noticed
cheddar.
that.
Yep, it was a beef and
Guess
cheddar.
what he added?
A little bit of barbecue sauce, a little
Oh,
bacon.
I didn't know. You know what? The barbecue sauce I think blended with the
Yep.
bacon so well that I
Yep.
didn't even recognize
Yep.
it.
And then I think I like put a dab of fucking the gyro seasoning too on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like the zhuzh.
Yeah.
I even added a little bit of regular, actual,
Yeah.
literal cheddar to it.
Yeah.
I did some sprinkled cheddar, sharp cheddar cheese in the middle, and I warmed it up in the oven.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Love Arby's. So you're wanting to
Get this management. I need to pay off all my
you
costs.
want to level up.
Yeah.
all
Also,
around.
I'm trying to sue the hospital here, so I'm trying to get that money to pay off my costs and fines.
Interesting. Very
So,
interesting.
Yeah.
Let's hope it works. What's the lawsuit? I mean, I'm sure you can't
lawsuit
talk too much
is
about it.
no lawsuits for work comp and malpractice.
Oh.
Because they messed up my thumb. Like it's shrunken down now, but now I have like a bunch of you can see there. It looks like a burnt hot
Jesus
dog.
Christ.
Yeah. So
How old is that? How long have you had that?
Easter.
What is that?
The 17th of April. So
I was
yeah,
looking at Earth Day.
2 weeks ago.
Wow.
2.5 weeks
Look
ago.
at that.
So that's what I mean. Where the simple cut would have been in, out, get the stitches out in a couple of days and
What
move
the
on.
fuck did you do to your hand?
So I sliced it with a serrated knife, cutting something I shouldn't have, and not wearing the protective gloves that they give me. So that's why I couldn't sue Arby's or
Gotcha.
like at work, blah blah blah. But that's where God was like, "Hey, I'm gonna fucking give you a second chance with you, this idiot."
Serrated knife.
Serrated it, sliced it open, everything. And then I went to the hospital on Front Street here. Don't go there. And just go to the one at Union Deposit. You're gonna wait longer, but quality is better. Anyway, so the one nurse also
don't cut your finger.
And but the nurse wrapped it up too tight. And then when I took it off the way it was supposed to be taken off, blew up, blood, everything. So I think I'm gonna need like a skin graft, and like I'm never gonna have feeling in my thumb anymore. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I'm glad we saved that for the end. It's a bummer.
Yeah. No, it's whatever. So like
you gotta go in the clink with that thing.
I'm gonna try to hope that I don't have to turn myself in for a little bit until this is done.
Take the mercy on you.
Yeah, I'm trying. Dude, trust me. That's kind of like half and half why I was wearing that sling for a little bit.
To be honest, you've been kind of behaved since like this whole thing. It seems like you've
Manny and I had a one-on-one a couple weeks ago, and he said the same thing. He's like, what? just even when this is done, kind of keep it the way you
Yeah,
are.
you're doing
Yeah.
good. I feel like
Yeah.
let's say this, you're projecting like you're doing good.
Okay.
So even when
Trying to.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't want to tell you how. Oh, look at this. We got double kitty day. This is fucking. We got two kitties making a visit on the show today. There's
Mm,
Mr. Stanley. But you're projecting good.
yeah.
I'm not going to tell you how you feel. I'm not going to tell you how internally you may be still having struggles. But if
Yeah.
you need someone to hang out with or to talk to or to do whatever, you're
Yeah.
more than welcome. You got the kitty cats here. Give me a heads up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Well, it's like,
in
yeah.
that sense, but I'm joking. But you seem to be doing well, and it shows. So
Okay.
if you are truly doing well, if you feel like you're succeeding, keep it up because it shows.
Yeah, I feel like this will be a nice little vacation for me, and then
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it.
yeah, when I get out, obviously I'll go as prison Payne then. But
Yeah, obviously, yeah, you have to change your
but I
name.
was talking to Danny last night about it, and I was like, I'm gonna give wrestling one more shot when I get out, because at least I'll be in better shape than I was when I first tried getting into it.
Yeah,
And so we'll give it one more run, and if by like 33, if I'm not too injured or something, and if nothing's really, I'll take it easy and drop it. But
yeah.
I just want variety. Yeah, like I want to have fun. Like life is too dull. I
Give
think
yourself a plan.
yeah,
Yeah,
and I think it's just because of all the bullshit I've dealt with in life that I have to make things exciting for me, or else I'm not.
yeah. I understand
Yeah.
that completely because that I have the same thing with it's kind of I think it's possibly stems from a learning disability that I maybe have always had, but where if it's not stimulating to me like mentally or whatever, it's not. I Whether it's books, movies, anything, if it's like if I don't give a shit, I turn Batman off 30 minutes in, and Manny will never ever forgive me for that. But
My
we'll just closing up. Like I said, you are a saint for being here. Thanks so much for being
thanks.
here. I
Thank-
appreciate you being taking time out of your day.
Thanks for
Uh,
having me.
we got some pounding right here at the end. Angel says good stuff, you guys. Appreciate it, Angel. Thank you very much. Also, Youngblood, big ups to Payne. The struggle is real, and I know you know that you have a strong support system. We believe in you. Sorry, I'm grooming my cat at the same time. We believe in you, Payne.
Yes, thank you. And actually, yeah, shout out to Youngblood for that, because during COVID and even a little before that, while I was going insane, he would help me just clear my thoughts
Yeah,
sometimes. So it's always nice to have somebody just like shake off all the negative and then just move forward from that.
yeah. Not and
So,
not necessarily, process it.
or that's what I mean, processing. I
Process
need
it.
help with
Don't shake it off.
processing. Yeah,
Work through it because
processing.
that's
Yeah,
you'll get better, and
yeah,
you're only gonna. That's how we better ourselves, right, Stanley?
yep.
So,
So
anything left to say, Stanley? You got anything? Okay, great.
sick.
So, why don't you tell people where at least they can find you on social media, whether
Yeah.
wherever
No,
your
I know.
physical form may be.
So yeah, Payne Torado, anywhere, and then Captain Propane, that's CPTPROPAYNE,
Uh-huh.
at that. And that's for all social media. I actually have cards. I didn't bring any with me, but I have like little cards that it's like a like cartoon picture of me talking to like a crowd of cartoon characters, and then it has my name on the back and all that. So that's my comedy card that I
Nice.
usually give people when I
Nice. Check out Payne Tirado on all social medias. Follow
yep,
him. He's also featured a lot of times on Shit in the Hat,
yep.
other comedy showcases at the Comedy Zone, at the open mic.
And
He does some music there.
I'll always accept requests on Facebook, but don't take it personally if I don't follow you back on Instagram. It's just because I follow a lot of Asian stuff.
Yeah,
So
he wants
that's my visual app.
unless
So,
you're Asian.
unless you're Asian, then do Asian things.
Yes,
That's sick.
please. And thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us on Facebook or not Facebook, YouTube. And we love you. Please subscribe. Goodbye.
Sayonara. Cool.